Does anybody know how good it feels? Hold on. That's silence. Okay, everyone, let me know if I'm live and if my audio is good. I was ready to go live last night. I was psyched. I had worked myself up. I had gotten my talking points in mind. The kids didn't want to go to bed. The kids didn't want to go to bed. So they fell asleep. I think they were asleep when I last left them. So we're looking good. We're looking good. Live, time for my planks. I don't know what that means. Who has the pool set up for how many SC Viva Frei will miss tonight? I'm putting 5 on 3. I'm going to do my best not to miss any super chats. I was looking forward to doing this last night, but children weren't cooperating. And when I say they weren't cooperating, It was, I say like during the quarantine lockdown, 23 hours, well, let's just say 23 hours a day. 11 of the 12 hours of the waking hours a day are magnificent, wonderful, beautiful moments. There's 1 hour a day where everybody simultaneously wants to rip everyone else's hair out. And it's tough. It's tough to get through because you have to get through it. And there's nowhere else to go. You can go outside. Doesn't make much better. Okay, while everyone streams in, and if I may remind everyone to, I don't care about the thumbs up, but if you're here, thumbs up, but share the link because YouTube is slow to notify. Share the link, send it out on social so we can get everybody the time to come in and tune in and say hi. Cynic in Chief says, I'd love for you to go on Rekieta stream. I was on Rekieta a long time ago. I think it was over the summer of last summer, so like 8 months ago now. I'd do it again. I would talk with any of the YouTube lawyers. I just think for some reason some will not talk to me. No names, but some will not talk to me. It's the weird thing about open discourse. It tends to be a one-way street. You cut your own hair. Okay, so for anybody who doesn't know, while everyone's coming in and saying hi and getting to know each other, I've got, everyone knows who I am from Viva Frei. I've got a second channel, which is sort of along the lines of what this channel used to be a year and a half ago, where I do random crap and stuff. Does that bother anybody? It bothers me. Get it off. So on my second channel, Viva Random, the kids cut my hair. Something I've never fully appreciated. When you go in for a barber and they do this to see where your hairline is, I never fully appreciated that until this. Look here, people. You see that line there above where they cut? The fade is good, by the way. A 3-year-old and a 5-year-old and a 10-year-old did this. But there's a natural hairline there. And now I appreciate why barbers or hair coiffeurs do things along the hairline, because now it looks like it's a good fade. But what's that? It looks like they went there and like stabbed it with the clippers, but they didn't. So anyway, yeah, the kids did the hair. It's good. It's good enough. I actually kind of like it. It looked good. I think we just need to like maybe trim out that section right there and we'll be good. I screwed up on the front because I came in with the blade to try to shorten the front and whatever. Doesn't look terrible. Looks better than the fro. Schiff Advent says, what do you think of Trump against his own orders? Not exactly sure I understand the question, but if you can elaborate, I'll answer it. And this super chat is going to give me the chance to explain something. I got an email earlier this week, and it's one of those emails that sort of, it doesn't upset you, it doesn't irritate you, it just sort of, it doesn't needle you. I guess I say it affects you because one can appreciate the truth in it. And the email said, your super chats are all over the place. Sorry, not your super chats. Your live streams are all over the place. Do you have a subject? The super chat answering comments distracts from the flow of the live stream, and your videos are too fast. First comment was, you can slow my videos down to 0.75, and I'm a lot more comprehensible if my pace is too fast. For the streams, Schiff Advent, thank you very much for the super chat, by the way. For the streams, I said, this is the stream. It's a different style. It's a different format. It's not a topic-driven thing like some other channels. This is when I get to interact directly in real time with subscribers. And that's what I like about it. And some people may not like it. It may be all over the place. It may be hard to follow. And welcome to my world. But that's the size of the live streams. if I don't have a guest, and even if I have a guest, I like responding to the super chats out of courtesy and respect for those who support the channel, out of courtesy to those even not super chats who get involved and who follow the channel. James Carson, EOs are issued by the president. I'm getting involved in a conversation that I have no business getting involved in. You got an email from Secret Service. Not sure who that is directed to. Get your shears and get ready for a mother cut. No, I'm not doing that. I'm going to leave some crap on the top and hope we can get to a barber within a month. But I don't mind this haircut. It looks kind of good. Looks kind of good. This looks like I have a massive scar, maybe, perhaps. So all that to say, the live streams, they are all over the place. They're non-linear and they will be distracted because I want to respond to comments and I want to respond to super chats. And I also want to express my ideas. 5 minutes, 55 seconds in. Let's get to this. Greetings. Hold on one second. What video is this about? Well, we're going to do all of them this week, by the way. We're going to do all of the videos from this week right now, starting with some tweets, starting with some subject matter. We're going to talk about Canadian government trying to criminalize misinformation or talking about criminalizing misinformation, disinformation online. We're going to talk about why not fake news and Elon Musk and all these things. And it's going to be fantastic. Greetings from Oklahoma. Candy de Leon. Ho, ho, ho. Your channel and live streams are my favorite. 90 knots. Thank you very much. You look a lot like Jennifer Tilly. I think I've said that before in the avatar. Schiff Adams says Trump cheered on people protesting his stay-at-home orders. Well, I don't care. So Trump, we're going to break this down. Schiff, don't take this personally. I'm going to dissect your comment in real time, the way I would analyze something analytically. Trump cheered on people protesting his stay-at-home orders. Trump cheered his stay-at-home orders. They're state orders, so I don't know who the state orders are from, not necessarily from Trump. Whether or not he cheered or whether or not he said it might be time to get back to work, and this is the defiant spirit of a nation who's going to stand against the risks and go back to work. I don't know. Whether or not he said, I can appreciate people who are protesting these stay-at-home orders in Michigan, Florida, Wyoming, California, and New York, which are not his orders, but rather the state orders. I can appreciate that. At some point, the defiant spirit in people is going to come out when they've been locked down in quarantine in their own homes for going on. We're in 6 weeks now. We're 6 weeks in Canada. 6 weeks in Canada, having been locked down on guidelines, which have, for whatever the reason, Benjamin Avstek have not been entirely accurate. And I've been having an ongoing debate with a friend, that debates that I only have in private because there are real world impacts of these types of discussions. Who's basically been saying it's necessary because of the projections. And I said, okay, I appreciate the projections. What do we get to do if in 2 weeks the projections are not what they said they were 2 weeks ago, and in 4 weeks if they're not what they said they were 2 weeks ago? What do we get to do then? And not just that, how does our perspective on those projections change? And how does our behavior change? Because if the answer is, it doesn't matter if the projections turn out to be wrong, we're going to continue doing what we're doing, and we're going to give as much deference to those now erroneous projections, I've got a problem with that reasoning. And I suspect a lot of other people do as well. And when it's now 6 weeks in, the initial doomsday predictions have not come to fruition. Neither have the follow-up revisions bottoming down. At what point do we start to reassess and say, okay, life is a risk, and now we're going to take some risk. Now we're going to defy these crippling stay-at-home orders from Michigan that you can't even visit friends or family, but you can go get a baby seat. That was a clarification tweet that was required. And if it's a perpetually moving target, just wait. Okay, that's not how I govern policy. Loci in the house, low key. What happened here? What did I do here? What's going on? What's going on? Why can't things come up? Something's wrong. Something is wrong. I can't bring up the comments. This is not proper. Hold on 1 second, people. I can't bring up, let me just see something. Test. Okay. There we go. Jeez Louise. Okay. Loci, hair looks great. I've done I've gone number 5 all over, but your kids' efforts worked well. Well done. It's a funny video, and it was a funny thing. We went with like 0.1, then we went to the next levels, and it worked well. Thank you very much, Lokai. Lee Nelson, please look into Dr. Rashid Buttar. We cannot allow Gates global vax. When Gates, thank you very much, by the way, Lee Nelson. When Gates and Lokai, when Gates becomes an elected official who governs policy, we can worry about it. Right now, he's entitled to the limelight that the media is giving him, or the limelight that he is arguably purchasing from the media. He's entitled to his opinion. Why it gets as much airtime as it does, it's arguable, it's disputable. For those who know the industry, it's common sense. When he becomes elected, if and when he becomes an elected official, because he's making public statements, if he gets elected, it's going to be on the basis of those public statements, or he will not get elected on the basis of those public statements. And then we'll see what happens if and when. Benjamin Aztec says, thanks for streaming tonight. Benjamin, thank you very much for the super chat. And yes, my pleasure. I wanted to stream last night. I would stream every day if I were just remotely confident I had enough to talk about. We're not all doomed, Nightwolf, by any means. I think we're going to learn some valuable lessons. I mean, this is my leitmotif, my recurring theme. We're going to learn some valuable lessons from this. Just hope we learn them fast enough. No, Coffee Fanatic. I got the comments back. We're good. So that's the issue. Is like we've been in lockdown for a long time. Other countries have not been in lockdown, and this is part of the discussion I had with my friend. Is look what's happening in Sweden. We're expecting the numbers to explode in Sweden. Sweden has not been in lockdown. They have not been doing social distancing, social isolation. They haven't been doing this, and yet they are at, last I checked, give or take, a third or maybe 40% of the numbers of Spain and Italy. They're at like 60% less than, or at 60% of the numbers of England, despite having not taken these draconian measures that strip the citizens of inalienable fundamental rights. And people want them to have these numbers so they can say, look, they didn't do they didn't suffer the way we're suffering, and look how badly their numbers, they're doing now. If only they had listened. And that's what people want, because like every fear hides a wish. And you say, I fear Sweden is going to do so badly because they haven't been doing what we've been doing, implies the wish that, to the extent that they're not doing it, let's hope that they do even worse, so we can say, look, the sacrifice we've made has been worthwhile, as opposed to potentially an overreaction. Al Martins, I'm donating because you provide a valuable, not legal, but legal service for us, and do it in an entertaining way as well. Much appreciated. Al Martins, thank you very much. If you have any doctors in the family, you could be the Doc Martins. But thank you. Got a piece of ice there. I don't want to it's not a question of like rubbing commentary in people's faces. It's just like I share my thoughts when we do these live streams, because it's just a different beast. And the law stuff, I'm glad to give whatever insight I can, because when I was deciding to leave law, I said it's a shame that I'm wasting 4 years of philosophy, 4 years of law, 10 years of practice. Now I get to use all of this near 20 years of educational experience. Shining Blade, do you dox someone with today's quote? Did I dox someone with today's quote? No, everybody knows my name. I'm David Freiheit. That's my real name. Freiheit is German for freedom. It's a beautiful last name, especially for a lawyer. But I was gonna give the quote to Viva Frei. Like I was gonna, in my video today, for anybody who doesn't know, I think the end quote was, "The only cure to the inherent risks of free speech is more free speech." And I was gonna, do Viva Frei as the quote, but that seemed like a bit of a cop-out and confusing. Thank you very much, by the way, Shining Blade. So, this is like, where was I? It was the question of what we're doing to deal with this, and celebrating the defiant spirit of people saying life is risk, and at some point we have to take these calculated risks. We have to take these mitigated risks, but we have to live. And remind me of this tweet that I'm going to get into, which the tweet was, in case I forget. Dr. Phil. Let's talk about Dr. Phil after this. Let me just get these two super chats. SCSW, South by Southwest, I don't know. 5604. I showed my boyfriend your vlogs We so adore your insight. Thank you very much. And thank you for, you're a member and a super chatter. Thank you very much. That little S thing, that icon, I think believes is a member. Thank you very much, by the way. And we got Zeus, the Almighty Oak. Zeus, the Mighty Oak. Is Tesla getting big in Canada? Nowhere near what it is in California. But it is pretty big. They're not nowhere near what it is in California. Was crazy. I just like everybody's got a Tesla. Here, they're frequent enough. And generally, I forget what the model is, not the fancy model, but the non-fancy models are pretty common. The fancier models are pretty common, but not that common. And the SUVs are pretty common as well. Mitchell Messam says, on another note in Sweden, another note on Sweden is they are not optimists. They expect the economy will tank and the infection to be deadly all the same. Expectations are fine. The bottom line is, as of now, and everybody, I don't believe that one country was exposed to this. I believe these are my thoughts. They don't count for much. I don't believe that Sweden was affected that much later than Italy or Spain. So I think like pretty much the world was affected roughly at the same time. As of now, Sweden has a population of 10.5 million, has 1,400 fatalities as of, I think it was 24 hours ago. So you can do the math. Italy, which has a population of 61, Italy and Spain were close to the same, but I forget which, 60 somewhat million. And 22,000 fatalities. So you can do the math. The UK had what was UK had was roughly twice. I forget. So it's not a question of like what the expectation is. It's just a question of what the numbers are now, given where we're at, and what the sacrifice has been, and what the cost has been. There's been a cost to what we're doing. There will be a cost. Zeus Almighty, I got that one. Martin C says, "Why should your rights to freedom supersede my personal right to safety?" So this is a discussion actually I saw on Scott Adams' Twitter feed, where someone said, okay, I want my rights to go around and do whatever I want. Scott Adams said, okay, well, I want my rights to defend myself. He didn't use these words. I'm trying not to get in trouble. I want my rights to defend myself against you exposing me and my family to death. The person said, well, that's kind of inflammatory to the extent that, like, even if someone has the flu or any other communicable disease, any communicable viral disease, that risk exists. So the question then is this risk that much more to the point where it would qualify as a threat to one's safety as opposed to the normal threat of living in a society with a plurality of people? And that's the discussion. So like everyone's like, okay, well, this is a life and death scenario, but the ordinary flu isn't. Chicken pox isn't. What's the other one there? Like anything, like any communicable illness carries with it a risk of communication and a risk of death for whoever gets it. So it really is just a question of numbers as to the actual risk of this particular virus versus every other virus that you can communicate to somebody. You don't make people take their temperature before they come into your house, or ask them if they have herpes or if they have a venereal disease. Like, you don't ask people these questions because you just take for granted these are certain inherent risks of living in a society. And now we've sort of like hyped this up to the point where like we perceive this as someone carrying a loaded gun, as though the risks are equivalent. So they don't. In a society, if you have a fear of certain things, you protect yourself. And if certain things are such an abhorrent risk, like driving at 150 miles an hour, you enact laws to counter that. And then the question is, where does this fit in on that spectrum of risk? And Martin, thank you very much for the super chat, by the way. Now, I know that I missed one here. I'm going to get to them anyhow. I'm not going to miss one tonight. The over-under is 3 to 5. Holy cows, I'm already doing badly. Okay, so I got Martin C. I got yours. Christopher Conyon, have you stayed up to date on the continuing declassification of the Horowitz IG report footnotes? Any thoughts? I haven't in any meaningful sense. There was that. I started reading the decision in the Amy Jackson dismissing Roger Stone's request for a new trial, 81 pages. Can't do it. So this I might try, but I have a sneaking suspicion this is going to be very voluminous. So I'll have a look. But either way, thank you very much for the super chat, and thank you for being a member. And I saw one more before I continue on with that thought. Hello from Brisbane, Australia. Keep up the excellent content, Susan. I believe I have a cousin in Australia. In fact, I know I do. And it's tomorrow morning in Brisbane, which is totally cool to think of, is that you've lived through the night. And how did I sleep last night? Question. Okay, so now we got some comments. I just saw them. Hello from Brisbane. Okay. We got Australia, 25 million population, 66 deaths. We have a voluntary isolation. Most people do isolate. Canada, 36 million. We're up to, it was over 1,300. It was 1,300 deaths. Which is much more than that. And most people voluntarily isolate. But then the question is this: what is going to be the lasting consequence? Is it going to be more than 66 deaths? Is it going to be vastly more than 66 deaths to have whatever impact it's going to have on the Australian economy, on people's ability to go for voluntary medical procedures, checkups, mental health issues, all sorts of things? Every decision is a trade-off, and this is what we're facing right now. Joshua Cornelius in the house. Thank you very much, Joshua. You do not have a right to safety in a universe that will eventually kill you. Nowhere in the Constitution does it say that you have the right to live a risk-free life. Nerf the world. Get the nerf the world part. This is true, but then there are risks like that you acknowledge you would want people to be protected from, or you would want people not to be empowered to expose others to. And it's a spectrum. And then the question is, has the fear around this been realistic? Has it been placing this risk on the spectrum at the accurate spot? Is it, on the drowning in water? Do we prevent everyone from swimming? Or is it on the walking around with a loaded gun? Or is it somewhere in the middle, but the media and the frenzy has placed it maybe closer to one end of the spectrum than the other? Hold on one second. We got Al Martin says Sweden is immunizing their citizens naturally, bodies developing other antibodies. So they'll initially have a larger amount of COVID results, but in later waves, they'll have much lower than the rest of the world. Well, first of all, thank you very much for the super chat. That remains to be seen. And that's the whole problem, is that this is all projection and this is all prediction. This is all best guesses at the moment. The problem is when, let me just see who this, have you read the transcript? Have I read the transcript on fire? Did I skip one? The problem is when you are dealing with projections and the projections turn out to be wrong, but you've already based policy on them, then it becomes the issue of doubling down on your mistake, because you can't say, oh, well, we made a mistake, now let's reassess. We've based it on predictions that have been reassessed and have not come to fruition. And this goes back to the discussion I'm having with my friend, is don't tell me that the reason why we're not reaching the numbers is because of what we've done. The whole issue is the numbers were factoring in doing what we've done, and now the numbers are not panning out. So what do? Do we continue relying on these numbers, or do we continue relying on these experts, or do we reassess and say, okay, now we have to start thinking about the cost benefit? For I look up the fish tank cleaner lady on Louder with Crowder. Oy vey, it's crazy. And so the fish lady is the person who drank the fish cleaner, or her and her husband in Arizona drank the fish tank cleaner because apparently it contains the chemical that was, touted by Trump as being the miracle cure for Myshro and her husband died and she didn't, and they got sick, and they're donors and they hate Trump and all this stuff. And there's political ramifications to it. I talked about it today. I mean, the bottom line is anybody drinking fish cleaner to cure something, there's no legislation that's going to protect you from your own decisions when those are your decisions. Like fake news, no fake news, people selling snake oil, you drink fish cleaner, you're making bad decisions in life, and no amount of legislation is going to protect you from those decisions. That's my 2 cents. And like I said in my video today, people have done backyard liposuction. No legislation is going to prevent people from being that out there. Somebody drilled a hole in, this is my classic Darwin, is somebody drank alcohol, obviously, one New Year's Eve, cut 2 holes in the ice 1 meter apart. And his brilliant plan was to go in one hole and out the other. And he went in one hole and didn't come out the other until spring. No legislation is going to be able to prevent people from the consequences of their own decisions when those are their decisions. C-Sexy3 says, keep it on, my dude. I'm going to do my best. Makes it a lot easier when the kids are asleep and I can just do it in a manner that is sustainable for me. Joe's Mean says, have you read the transcript for the On Fire Church Louisville, Kentucky hearing? I know you did a vlog on the TRO a while back. I didn't read it. And Uncivil Law, who's in the house, if you can post a link, Uncivil, post a link, because you did a live stream. He's the other lawyer, Blackleaf, Uncivil Law, Kurt, got a channel. He did a live stream, from what I understand, of the hearing. I couldn't get to it. I got, these three kids, and we had no school all week. So no virtual school. So it was a tough week. I have not. I'm gonna try to do it, and there may not, unless there's something really good in it. I probably will not get back to it, but I'm gonna try to look into it. Okay, now let's see what we got here. Not falling behind. 2375. Jason McConnell. Fish cleaner is still better than Screech. Yeah. They drank fish cleaner. I mean, I put forget the pod challenge, the Tide Pod. I put the Tide Pod into the washing machine, and then I go rinse my hands off thoroughly because I don't even want the trace elements going into my mouth by some fluke. Like we're in different worlds when people drink fish cleaner because they think it's going to cure the virus, and then have the audacity to blame it on what they understood from the words of the president. Like, I mean. There's nothing to say about it. The political ramifications, I don't think these people committed suicide, or I guess there is an idea that it could be murder suicide and blame it on make it political, but I don't believe they did it on purpose. Zomtu says every government restriction in liberty should have to be demonstrably proven to enhance public safety. But even still, that's the issue. Even still, full restrictions will demonstrably increase public safety. There's no question about that. There is no question that these social distancing measures that we're taking, there's no question that they are preventing or delaying the spread of the virus. No question. The only question is, when do we start living in the capsule in the Matrix and live in total security but not live at all? Like, when are we going to be in this pod, utterly protected from all of life's risks, but have no life at all? The government can restrict the sale of alcohol. They can restrict driving. They can restrict. They can forbid tobacco. They can prescribe a diet that will demonstrably increase our lifespan. I want to eat a freaking rib steak. I don't care if it has 25 grams of fat in it and 1,000 calories. That's what freedom means. So any government measures can have a demonstrably enhanced. They can have demonstrable enhancements on public safety. They can still infringe on the inalienable rights that make a free civil society free. Okay, good. Let me see what I know I saw civil law here. Jason McConnell. We saw Tabarouette. Okay, we got Martin C. Right to life is literally a charter right. There's no question. And the funny thing is, what is an inalienable right? To the extent the government can just take it away from you in a case of emergency. I appreciate that they can take away rights. Like, they put people in jail, they fine people, they seize their property. But at some point, inalienable rights, if they are inalienable only in normal times, they're not inalienable. Christopher Conlon says, if the virus did come out of the lab in Wuhan, even by accident, what repercussions could the Chinese government face? At the very least, there was a cover-up. I don't want to go down that road because that's how I can. My irrational OCD thoughts can go places where I don't want to go, like World War III, total apocalyptic warfare. But economic sanctions, yeah. Isolation, yeah. We're getting there. We'll find out sooner than later. It's an interesting thing how news evolves. Leaf Sandiger says, Dr. Bricks said, if you die of CCP, then you died of CCP-19. And my dad was misquoted by the national media in the past to make the story negative. Okay, that's interesting. Who's your dad? I mean, I don't know who your dad is, but Dr. Bricks said, if you die of the virus, then you died of the virus. And my dad was misquoted, say, by the national. Okay, it's interesting. There's an issue about who they're including in the deaths. I mean, there's a whole. Once it gets politicized, once there are hundreds of millions of dollars involved in an issue, it's human nature. There's nothing you can do about it. Uncivil law is in the House on a scale of legal to 10. How accurate do you think my legal analysis is? You have not disappointed me in your legal analysis. You've actually surprised me in the level of your knowledge. That doesn't mean you're right or wrong, because Nate Brody has impressed me as well, and you disagree. The bottom line is, you have not displayed poor judgment or bias to the point of discrediting your knowledge, opinion, or channel. I don't always agree with you, but you are nonetheless meticulous and thorough and thought out. Not comparing you to anybody. Now, I want to see something. I want to get some non-super chat questions. Let's just hear. Those who have the gold make the rules. I'm a former bank employee. Sky Dave. Munderpool, what the happened to your hair? You're late. Go back to the beginning and see what happened to my hair. Hold on. Viva. She didn't drink any fish tank cleaner. She fed it to her husband and took none for herself, or she would have been dead right there beside him. Interesting. Not getting into it, but I am going to look into it. I might do a vlog on it. But for now, I had not heard, I heard about the schmuicide aspect. That's very interesting. Anyhow, interesting to be seen. Undoubtedly there will be news on it. Northwatch says, Viva, it is okay to listen to AC/DC at the same time as you. Kind of makes your words rock. I was gonna say I want to rock, but that's not AC/DC. It is okay. It is even okay to listen to the Bee Gees or the Beagle Boys, the Beach Boys. Joshua Cornelius. It's what we had to do, or is it the decision we made based on what we knew at the time? Can you recognize the difference? Or we made the decision, it was an overreaction, or it was the appropriate reaction at the time. The situation has changed. We can't go on like this forever because people will start protesting as they're doing in Michigan, as they're doing in, I forget the other state. The consequences will be worse than the threat. Newfoundland, the one news outlet says they're facing a shortage of food. The other news outlet says they're affirming that they're not. Undoubtedly, it's an island province in Canada. They've had all of 3 COVID deaths the last time I checked, which was yesterday or the day before, and they're talking about food shortages. Every policy decision is a cost-benefit decision, and this brings me back to I will get to the idea. This is like what is it like? It's like the punchline where you never get to the punchline of the joke. Your right to life does not supersede my right to life, Mr. C. My right to life supersedes your right to life, your right to enslaved life. It's an argument. I'm not sure that an enslaved life is a right to life. If someone feels so threatened by the virus, they can take measures to seclude themselves. That's one of the things I tweeted. I was like to Trudeau. I was like, okay, we've done very well based on comparisons to other countries. At some point now, you got to let the able-bodied, those who are willing to take the risks, go back to work. If you want to compensate them with hazard pay, fine. If people are uncomfortable to go back to work, give them employment insurance or give them benefits, because understandably, it's not a question of cowardice. It's not a question of paying them to do nothing. I can understand people don't want to expose themselves. Give them benefits. Anyone who's at risk, 60 or over, keep them isolated. Have a compromised economy, but an economy nonetheless, and actually have people drive the economy that's going to protect the people who need the protection. And if you're scared, and if you're nervous, and if you're uncomfortable, keep yourself in quarantine. It will be no different than what you're doing now. But someone else's right to the sense of security does not supersede my right to freedom. And that's the balance. It is the balance. There's no question about it. There's no question about it that it's balance. Joshua Cornelius, protests popping up over the U.S., my hometown, Boise, Idaho, today and all over the weekend. More will be starting tomorrow. Yeah. And try to arrest everybody. Try to give everybody tickets. See what happens. At some point, the upheaval of people just getting on saying enough is enough. We want to live even if it's at the risk of this virus. It'll spread or it won't spread. I mean, it's going to come to the same outcome. Okay, let's see. We got Joshua Cornelius. If prepare for the worst is valid for viruses, why is it not valid for economic calamity and possible world conflict? It took World War II to get out of the last Great Depression. So for Joshua Cornelius, thank you very much. And Joshua Cornelius, from what I understand, you are I won't say a truck driver, but you are a transporter of goods across the country, currently working under the pandemic and doing it and taking the risks and taking it for all of us, incidentally. And thank you very much, Joshua. No joke. We got Derek Massimo says she has a record of violence against her hubby. All right, dude, there might be something to look into in this. Not right now. It's on screenshot. Boom shakalaka. Do this. Screenshot. Okay. So the tweet had to do with the risks. Joshua, I'm a trucker currently in Virginia. Very cool. Tony Niev says, based on the standing legal principle of your rights end where others begin, can we challenge government on restricting our rights besides constitutional. People are challenging it. There will be challenges for years to come, and this will set probably the guidelines for future responses in respect of Joshua, everything 4004. So what was the tweet? The tweet was, the tweet was that, yes, Dr. Phil. Okay, I'm going to follow through on this idea so we can get to it. Dr. Phil says, he came out and gave an interview, and everyone's shocked because he had the audacity of comparing the fatalities from COVID to the fatalities of suicide or car accidents. And if we can stop one, why don't we stop the other? And everyone's like, it's not the same. It's not exponential growth. It's not this and that. And people are not understanding the analogy is not between the threats. It's between the responses. And agreed, we all acknowledge this is a contagious disease or contagious virus that has an R0 factor, apparently of, 2.4, it's communicable. The issue was not to suggest that car accidents are communicable or cancer is communicable or suicide is communicable. The issue is to suggest that the government, at the snap of a fingers, can make policy decisions that will, at the snap of fingers, eliminate 50,000 deaths. Okay, it's a communicable disease. So is the flu. So is STDs. The government, when it comes to this, can snap its fingers and say, okay, we're going to do this because we think it's going to save 200,000 lives from a highly communicable disease. The fact that they're saving 200,000 lives from a highly communicable disease is secondary. The issue to think about is, at the snap of the fingers, they can say, we can make policy that saves 200,000 lives. Does it matter what those 200,000 lives are being saved from? If someone thinks so, that's curious. I don't know that it makes a difference how 200,000 people die at the end of the day. But even if I accept that it's a different way that they're going to die or the different threat, the government can snap their fingers, enact policy that, with respect to COVID, even assuming the predictions are right, can save 200,000 people in a year. Okay. They can snap their fingers and save 50,000 a year by placing certain restrictions on driving, drinking, smoking, a number of things. Why don't they do it? They don't save 50,000 people a year because it's not a communicable disease. That doesn't make sense from a policy decision. And so the issue is not in comparing the threat, but in comparing the response to a threat. And someone will tell me, does anyone think it makes a difference how 50,000 or 100,000 people die? If it's of a communicable disease versus car accidents or suicide? If 50,000 people a year are committing suicide, I would expect the government to implement policies to address that. If people are, and the opioid overdose crisis, I would expect the government to implement policies. What policies is a different issue. But to say, oh, they're not dying of communicable diseases, so it's not analogous in terms of what the government response is, that's like splitting hairs to the point where, okay, the government doesn't only respond to communicable diseases. The government doesn't only respond under the Quarantine Act. The government responds to issues that are impacting its citizens, whether it's a communicable disease of COVID or it's drinking and driving. The government enacts restrictions to eliminatable threats and risks. And so people like dumping on Dr. Phil, how dare you? It's not the threat that is the issue. It is the response to an actual crisis. And the question now becomes, if the government snaps its fingers to eliminate the risk, the hypothetical prospective risk of 200,000 deaths, what won't it do to eliminate the actual statistical deaths of 50,000 people a year from car accidents or whatever? Jonathan Ferrier says, by per capita deaths, Sweden is worse than Italy, Spain, and the UK and USA. Per capita, Canada and the US are similar. P.S. Check it out. Okay, Jonathan, we'll have a disagreement on fact, and not a question of disagreement. I think you're wrong. Sweden had 1,400 deaths from the virus 2 days ago for a population of 10 million. Italy had 22,000 for a population of 67 million, I think, 64 million. So 1,300 times 6 is 8,000 on 60 million. So that is a third of Italy. So if it's per capita, we're disagreeing on something, but it's a factual statement. We should be able to clarify it. So someone let me know who is right or wrong between this, because it is a matter of fact and not a matter of interpretation. But thank you for the super chat, by the way, and thank you for the comment. Even if we disagree, we can disagree and still be digital friends. Okay, let's see what I saw here. I saw something. Oh my goodness, I'm falling behind. Jonathan Ferrier, okay. Tony Ness says, anyone else see the Michael Cohen is being freed? I did not see that, but that's interesting. A lot of people are being freed. I don't, was it by legal standards or by COVID standards or because of the risk? Dapper Day says, what about the people with pre-existing conditions that are under 60 years old? Can they be forced to physically go back to work instead of telework? I don't think anybody, I mean, I don't know. I don't think anybody can be physically forced to go back to work, especially if they're non-essential. If they're essential, I suspect there are provisions. I don't know. I mean, this has to be jurisdictional also, but this would be part and parcel of a measured response. Someone with pre-existing conditions, you don't have to have a pre-existing condition. If you are too uncomfortable to go back to work, don't and the government will give you subsidies. The government will give you employment insurance, and it will still be cheaper. It'll be a net benefit than what we're doing now. Okay, so hold on. We saw this going down. Joshua Cornelius, to the ones so concerned about safety, don't go to a baseball game. If they return, you might get hit by a noggin by a foul ball. #think dash about it. These are the risks. I mean, there are certain risks. There are certain more. Someone's going to say getting hit in the head with a ball is not an exponential risk day by day. I responded to someone on Twitter. Actually, New Year's Day, there's been studies that show that in certain areas there are twice as many fatalities as any other day. Do we talk about outlawing driving on New Year's Day because there are statistically twice as many deaths as the day before? Oh no, because it's not exponential. Blah, blah, blah. We're splitting hairs and sort of like falsifying the discussion. There's a real risk. It's twice as much as it was the day before. What does the government do about it? Nothing, because it would be an unconscionable compromise of inalienable freedoms to say nobody's driving on New Year's Day because statistically there's twice as many fatalities as the day before. It would be unconscionable. And now there's a real anomaly of a risk now. The only question is, what is a conscionable response and how long does it last? Derek Massino, people are making comparison. One's a self-choice, one's not suicide. Is self-choice like OD, but catching a virus not by public choice? Please up in arms more. People can protect if you are that scared. First of all, I was neurotic, fearful, and I was neurotic before this. I didn't shake hands. I elbow bumped, and I would hold my breath when I would walk over, vomit on the street. Like, I had these issues before. People, if you have issues, you can isolate yourself. You can self-quarantine on your own with letting people who want to take the risk get back to work in a manner that will, not a cause for the overwhelming of the healthcare system, which from what I understand, hasn't really occurred anywhere with the exception potentially of New York, but even from what I understand, not in New York. So it's just a question of a measured response versus a knee-jerk panic-induced reflex that you have to spend the next 4 weeks justifying by doubling down, because to admit that you might have overreacted would make people upset that, oh, why did we give up all of our rights? Why do we kill our economy? Why do we do this and that when the numbers don't pan out? And now you have to say, well, trust us, we just have to keep doing this and in order to justify our own initial overreaction. Michael F says suicide hotlines calls are way up all over due to the lockdown. I mean, this is one of my major concerns. It's like, man, I can't imagine what it would be like to be alone in New York or in Chicago in a small place where you can't get out, you can't get fresh air, where you don't have friends or family. I can't imagine what it could be like. I can't imagine what it would be like to be in lockdown with an abusive spouse or a child in an abusive household. I can't imagine what this must do, or just a child who's not going to school now, who's so there is a trade-off. To pretend there's not a trade-off and that we're just saving lives willy-nilly is oversimplified. And to pretend that just because we're saving lives, it's all justified is also silly, because, hey, deprive us of all of our liberties, government-fed gruel, mandatory exercise, and we might live longer. That's great. It's like living inside the Matrix. Where was I? Where was I? Oh, yellow. Okay, hold on 1 second. So we got Tabarouette. How does this happen so quickly? Okay, suicide hotline. We got Stephanie Glaus. Thank you very much, Stefan Glaus. We got Al Martin says, was in the hospital for a completely unrelated reason, and they went out of their way to label it COVID. I replied, only if more symptoms for COVID than for anything else. I had an infection in the kidney. I can't comment on these. These are anecdotal things that I cannot verify or prop up or promote anecdotal evidence that is someone else's information to share. But that is interesting. We've heard the stories. It's just, Thank you for the super chat and thank you for sharing. But it's anecdotal and it's worth what it's worth, and anecdotal will always be worth what it's worth to people who are not convinced by anecdotal. U.S. hemorrhaging trillions with virtually no tax revenue, and people think this won't end in catastrophe. Same thing in Canada. It's nice. They're sending out $2,000 per member of a household per month until this is over. Where does that come from? Where does the healthcare system get its financing that it's going to need to treat the people who are going to go to the hospitals? It's not. I mean, I don't have a degree in economics, but you don't need one. Thank you, Joshua. No, it's madness to some extent. When daylight saving ends, more people end up dying due to this was what my wife just said. I think Joe Rogan talked about this. More people end up dying due to less sleep. Ending it would be trivial. A trivial win for lawmakers. They die of heart attacks. They die. There's all sorts of issues. I don't know. Incidentally, I don't know why they still have it, but I mean, there's tradition. So I have no comment on that. But that's it. That's one of the number ones, like statistical evidence to show that daylight savings cost lives, and yet whatever. I hope I didn't miss anything. Stephanie Glass says, when will Canada expect hydrochloroquine? I don't know. I understood that we were like on the verge of talking about it, but I don't know. But Canada has had 1,300 fatalities. I should look it up, but it's 13 to 1,400. Half, if not virtually half, are from outbreaks at old persons' homes and like clusters at old persons' homes. It's my fundamental issue is it's nice. We've locked down 35 million people, and we're not actually protecting those that are most vulnerable, that are actually accounting for the majority of the fatalities. Let me crack my back. No, didn't work. Did I miss anything? I don't think I missed any. Let me see here. Okay, got that one. Joshua. Okay, I don't think I missed one. New York just added 3,700 deaths of people not tested. Again, I mean, this is the battle of information in an age where we just cannot trust what we're reading anymore, and it's depressing and it's discouraging. But I have my on the ground sources, and I have people that I trust who are front line. I don't relay that information because it's not mine to relay. I can't vet it, and it might even be more negligent of me to relay because I can't verify it. But like I hear these stories too, and this is where I say the free exchange of ideas has a way of bringing the truth to the top. Let me see here. I think I missed something. No, I didn't. Okay, Carl Schneider. I've never seen your avatar before because I would recognize that. Your channel is informative, interesting, and infectious. See what I did there? Thanks for all the great content. Welcome to the channel. I have a pretty good like visual memory for avatars and names, and I don't believe I've ever seen yours before. So welcome to the channel. And so today, talking about the consequences of this. Of what's going on. Incidentally, recently study in New York City showed only 1 in 7 are symptomatic that would show highly infectious, low mortality. Ben Shapiro stated on Crowder. Yeah, like everyone's going to be stating something that they read somewhere, and it's this is just it's the battle of conflicting information, and it's also the battle of incomplete information, and it might be the battle of exaggerated information. It might be the battle of inaccurate information. I don't. Ben Shapiro and Steven Crowder they pick their information from resources and from sources. I don't trust them any more than I trust anybody else. Nor do I trust their anecdotes, because everybody seems to have an anecdotal evidence or, some source that confirms what they want to believe. Shining Blade says, thanks for the discussion. I feel better knowing misery has company. Your content is a comfort when I feel so alone with my parents living next door and I cannot visit them face to face. Shining, let me tell you something. Like my parents live up the street, 1.3 kilometers away. I go and deliver groceries and I ring the doorbell and I walk down the stairs, not because I necessarily believe that it's necessary, but I don't want someone seeing it and like thinking, this young bastard is exposing his parents. God forbid, I don't want my parents getting sick and then having my 4 other siblings blame me for it. It is weird. It's a totally foreign feeling because I 2 months ago, never would have thought we could be living through such times. I never would have thought our inalienable rights and freedoms and things we took so for granted, they haven't been taken away from us because we've sort of given them away, but that we would also willingly give them away or allow them to be taken out of this type of fear. And then at some point we have to reassess and say, do we live in fear and safety with no rights, or do we take certain risks and see what happens, because we're animals at the end of the day who are susceptible to viruses. But thank you very much, brother. And I thank you for the super chat. And I totally understand the sentiment. My parents live up the street, and I'm almost reluctant even to go walk their dog with them and stand on the other side of the street, even though I guess I could in theory. Okay, I know I saw something here. Hold on 1 second. Shining Blade. We got Schiff Advent says, you said the flu equals 60,000 a year, COVID 40,000 in 3 months. You think they are the same? 40,000 in 3 months in what country? The flu was 63,000 in 2018 in the United States. And let's just say that I don't think they're the same. I think COVID is obviously more contagious. It's obviously more lethal of a certain demographic. Let's just say it's twice as bad. Let's say it's 3 times as bad. Okay, let's just agree on that. It's 3 times as dangerous. It's 3 times as fatal. It's 3 times as risky for everybody. What do we do with that information? Do we lock down the globe? That's where we might even agree on certain fundamental premises, but disagree on the reaction. Flu was 63,000 from what I saw, but I also understood it was 80,000 in 2018. Doesn't matter. Let's just say it's 60,000 in 2018. 40,000 in 3 months. I'm not sure that that's accurate. I think it's 25,000 in the United States. And okay, let's just even say that it ends up being 3 times as fatal as the ordinary flu. Then what? Is all of this justified? I mean, and it's a question. It's not an affirmation. It's not a judgment. It's not a statement. It's a question. Is all of this justified? Do we live like this, assuming we can even live like this for the next 2 years, based on something which is 3 times more deadly than the ordinary flu? That's the question. And I think people are going to start protesting because they don't agree with the answer that is being imposed on them. Matthew Christ, welcome back. Sweden is worse than the US in deaths per 1 million. Just give me the number. I mean, I know what the number was. It was 1,400 deaths as of 2 days ago for a population of 10 million. I know that was the number. I'm going to do it right now. Let's do this. I don't like having my memory challenged. Coronavirus Sweden count. Here, 1,400. Hold on. There, 1,400. Now, when I say, you can see it. Okay, and when I say it was as of 2 days ago, because this was last updated 2 days ago. I don't know if you can see that. Let me just get this in focus. Here, last updated less than 2 days ago. 1,400 deaths. So for a population of 10.5 million. So somebody tell me if I'm wrong. I'm just bottom line numbers. So per capita, that's 1,400 per 10 million. So that if you're talking about 3, so you'd have to multiply that 1,400 by 10 million, which would be 14,000 per 100 million, which would be 2840, which would be worse than the US. 42,000 per capita compared to the US, which is better than Italy, Spain, and Britain, which have been under the most extensive lockdowns for 8 weeks now. So, and even still, let's just assume we all agree on it's riskier, it's more deadly. How long does this go on for? How long does this go on for before you start thinking you can't do this to society for any extended period of time? Fair Tax Act, rich and illegally pay their share tax. Dapper Dave. Not sure what you mean by that. John Martin says, you're a funny dude. Why, thank you, sir. But Melvin says, but my anecdote's real. But first of all, I'm not to say that they're not real. They might very well be real, but I'm a cynical lawyer, and I don't draw any broad conclusions off anecdotal evidence. Which is very upsetting to certain people, because you're like, well, my story doesn't mean anything to you. It's not that. I believe your story. But what broader conclusions can I draw off it if I cannot verify it or what's the word? Corroborate it with broader statistics that are actually something that we can actually draw policy on. Prometheus IOI says, the battle of information is annoying. The numbers are just torturing yourself at this point. We won't swamp the hospitals. That is all that matters. People will get it. People will die. First of all, you can get chewed out in social media for taking such a callous perspective to this. The issue was the whole basis for the flattening the curve was not to overwhelm the hospitals. That was the whole basis for flattening the curve. And by all accounts, the hospitals have not been overwhelmed. They're not overwhelmed in Canada. They've been heavily tested in New York, but they have not been overwhelmed. So that's the issue. That was the issue. That was the whole purpose of flattening the curve. It was not to eliminate the curve, nor was it to have it be flattened over 2 years. It was to prevent a massive influx to overwhelm the hospitals and then deal with it afterwards. And when you have people and politicians and doctors, we might have to do this for 2 years. You got to be out of your gourd to think that any society is going to put up with this for 2 years, or that any society can even pay for it for 2 years. Okay, Al Martin says, why did flu deaths disappear once COVID showed up? Battle of information. That's all I'm going to say to that. I've heard it. Nothing I can do to vet or whatever, but I've read it and I've heard it. Cyrus Stombo says, Sweden, 1 in 7,000. USA, 1 in 74,000. Spain. Okay, but Cyrus Strombo, Sweden, 1 in 7. Well, what is the number? Infection or death now? Because I don't know what the number is. 1 in 7,000. The US is 1 in 70,000. Canada 1 in 28,000. Spain 1 in 2,000. Italy 1 in 2,000. So is that death or infection? It can't be death, because then the Canada number would be off. And infection, as far as I'm concerned, is not. I mean, I'm bottom line. The infection is the more shocking statistic. I'm not sure that it's the most relevant statistic. But Cyrus, thank you very much for the super chat. Anyhow, not anyhow, but thank you very much. Regardless, but I'm not sure what you mean by that. If it's death or Viva, do I smoke Purple Trainwreck or Bubba Kush? I have a feeling that those questions are going to get me in trouble with the YouTube. So I'm going to go ahead and say I have no idea what the heck you're talking about, because I don't. I actually don't. Liberate everybody. Sakaki Onse, how you doing? I love your avatar also. It looks very dignified and 1980s. Eventually, it's going to happen. People were not born to live a life like this. Okay, let's see what we got here. Let me see here. Sakaki Onse says, liberate everybody. We got Joshua Cornelius. Per CDC, in the United States, flu season occurs in the fall, winter. 62 deaths since October 1st, 2019. You missed 2 of my super chats. Super slacker. Sorry, Josh. I'm sorry. But 62,000 deaths since October 1st, 2019. If that's from this year, that's interesting. I just know that in 2018, I thought there were 80,000. Some other people said there were 63,000, but it seems that there was no less than 63,000. Sorry for missing the other super chats. Jonathan Ferry says, to clarify, I meant deaths per day per capita. Yes, the totals, death per day per capita. Okay, yes, the totals are lower, but they are growing the fastest. Okay, but see, that's where we're getting into numbers that I can't. The deaths are growing faster. Deaths per capita is probably the only easily quantifiable way of doing it. And if the deaths change tomorrow, they change tomorrow. But as of today, deaths per capita are, from just raw numbers, a third in Sweden what they are in Italy and Spain, half to 60% what they are in Britain, and maybe on par with what they are in the States. Okay, we got Josh there, and then hold on. Matthew Chris says, I didn't mean to be a douche. You and I had agreed. There's no being a douche because we disagree. This is another thing that people get so sensitive when you don't agree with somebody. There's a difference between disagreeing and being a douche. I thought nothing douchey of your position or your manner of expressing it. And thank you, but don't worry about it. I'm not sensitive, and I hope you're not sensitive. Night Wolf, NWC. Here is the live up-to-date map of the numbers. Okay, I can't click on it, so I assume that everybody else can, but I've been following it on the coronavirus count, so I've been seeing it pretty much every day. Okay, I know I just saw one right here. Let's just see this right here. Boom. Joshua Cornelius. As a truck driver, I'll bet a jelly donut that I and most other drivers have been exposed and resolved the virus. Last one. Take care. Joshua, last one. Pinky swear. And thank you. Well, that's it. That's another thing I wanted to know is has there been statistically more infections and fatalities of people who are continue to work in the, say, grocery stores, in the essential services? I don't know. I don't know, actually. Like I had asked it on Twitter, and I was like, oh, well, of course there has. I was like, okay, of course. Can I just see it? Like, I'd like to see the numbers. Have there been a disproportionate rate of infection and death among grocery workers who are still working? Because if there haven't, it's interesting. If there have, it's interesting. I'd just like to know. Miroslav Glavic says, the municipal movement restrictions many cities have, could they be violating the Charter of Rights and Freedoms since CRF supersedes? Yes. Bottom line, like I said this in the temporary restraining order vlog on Louisville. Apparently I'm pronouncing it like the Frenchman. Louisville. They violate the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. The only issue is that they're justified violations, they're justified infringements given the state of emergency, because you have to preserve the nation that upholds the Constitution. If everybody gets sick and dies, then certain restrictions are justified under certain times of war, crisis, disease, famine, whatever. But yeah, they do. It's a question of, are they justified, and are the restrictions proportionate and sufficiently narrowly curtailed to be justifiable? And that's what the courts are going to come in and have to decide at some point. So in Canada, for anybody who hasn't seen the 1 hour in, and it's on the perfect time, Canada has now started discussing whether or not we criminalize what's the word I'm looking for? Whether or not we criminalize, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh yeah, misinformation and disinformation on online. Now it's being geared as being related to coronavirus. Like, we have to govern what goes on online to make sure that people are not spreading dangerous misinformation about it, and we've got to criminalize it now as if we don't already have the laws to do what we want to do. And it's a phenomenal thing. By the not the Minister of Justice, but whoever the guy is, like, admits, it's in the early stages. We're not going to be able to draft the legislation anytime soon. So by the time they get around to drafting the legislation, this particular pandemic will probably be over or under control. Then the issue is just going to be, what laws do we pass that restrict freedom of speech, even in the absence of the immediate threat that was to justify the infringement? And like I said in the video today is, what laws do we not have in our criminal code, which is 1,000 pages long, that has 850 articles with sub-articles? What laws do we not have to address that? The concern of spreading dangerous misinformation, and fraudulent misrepresentations of people selling fake cures to the virus. Like, what laws are we lacking to actually achieve that goal, that we need more laws? Stefan Klaus says, COVID is not as serious as the media makes it out to be because of their agenda. It's an opinion. You're not the only one that has it. And it's an opinion that will never be proven nor disproven, because it'll either be disproven in that it was as big of a threat as the media made it out to be, or it won't, in which case you'll never know if it wasn't, or if it was just dealt with properly. But you're not the only person to have that sentiment. And there is no shame in having that sentiment, to the extent that you're not going around coughing on grocery store produce to prove that you're justified in your sentiment. Yeah, the criminalizing disinformation is a beautiful concept, especially given what information is one day and disinformation another day. Jonathan Ferry says, here in the Okanagan, hospitals are empty and my local hospital has no COVID cases. We in the West have the least restrictions in Canada. Okanagan is beautiful. If anybody's never been there, I've been there, I believe. Okanagan, British Columbia. I want to say it's near the place where there was a forest fire in 2001. Let me know if I'm right. We drove through this. It's beautiful. But no, even from what I understand, even in Toronto, the hospitals are not overwhelmed. In Quebec, they're not overwhelmed. There was an issue that the issue was that it's old persons' homes that are just getting hammered by outbreaks. And oddly enough, because workers are being laid off and they don't have enough people to work, and they're not taking the proper precautions to protect the most vulnerable. It's just like, the Parkinson's law and triviality. It's just like sweeping, simple to understand orders. Everybody stays home, even if it's actually not responding to the needs as well as it should be. But I'm not a doctor nor an elected official. I'm just an idiot with an opinion. Patrick Meredith. Wouldn't that make about 80% of what Trudeau says illegal? So, first of all, did we just get a new member? Patrick Meredith, that was one of my points in the video, actually. Al Martins is a new member. Al Martin, if I can see where you became a new member, I'm going to bring it up. But welcome to the channel. So that was the irony I said in my video of today. Al Martin became a YouTube member. YouTube members is like $5 a month. YouTube takes 30% of it. But it's a way to support a channel if you like it. Aaron Nuclear says, I have addicted my best friend to your videos. Debating some of your videos is fun. Thanks for the joy those debates have given me. My pleasure. That's the other thing. It's like, it was not a Twitter war. It was just an answer and response where I said today, 3 months ago, it was conspiracy theory to suggest that this virus originated in a Wuhan lab. Now it's mainstream news. CNN, Fox News, The Guardian reporting on it. And then I said in the tweet, anybody purporting to have a monopoly of the truth is trying to sell you something. Someone responded, including you, trying to sell you something. And I said, I've never purported to have a monopoly on the truth. On the contrary, I'm very well aware that my belief system, someone else can have an entirely different belief system than me and have different beliefs. And I don't have the truth. I just have what I believe based on what I see. And I'm not trying to sell someone on the truth of my beliefs. I'm just trying to impart my thought process on somebody else, and they'll agree or disagree. And it's beautiful that it stimulates debate. And that's what creates knowledge, not calling people conspiracy theorists and then not addressing their ideas, which is what they were doing since that idea came out. And I was like, Jesus, why are they so reflexively writing this off as conspiracy theory? It makes me more suspicious of it. They just don't understand how the Streisand effect works. And lo and behold, misinformation 3 months ago is now information today, and information 3 months ago that it's not communicable between humans, the WHO, the WHO, that face masks don't do anything, is now misinformation. And that gets back to what truth. Everyone's like, it's not communicable. Don't worry about it. Go visit, go travel, go eat out. And all of a sudden, now they're implementing policies that are the exact opposite of that. And they're the ones who are going to tell us what we can and cannot have access to in terms of information based on information and disinformation. Joshua, you said it was the last one last time. This is the last one. Pinky swear. Obey the ministry of truth. Well, oh God, this just and the social obey the ministry of truth, even if you don't. The surveillance methods, and not like KGB surveillance, like app tracking, all this information that is publicly accessible. They know where you walk. If someone is tested positive, they find out based on their cookies, their human cookies, or whatever apps they have on their phone, that they've been walking further than they should. So it's a crazy world we live in. It's an amazing, crazy world. Joshua, thank you very much. And by the way, Aaron Nuclear, thank you very much as well for the not only for the super chat, for the compliment, because I think instigating debate is a worthwhile thing. Now let me see here. I want to see if I can get some. I want to see something. We watch you on our own volition without coercion. Plus, you are hard to find and certainly not jammed down our throats like the BBC or CBC. I'm not trying to jam I'm not trying to jam my beliefs down anybody's throats, because I'm not sure that I'm right. I just want to know that I have the right information and not the right opinion. So let me see here. Let's see. You stop gaslighting people. I think people are using the term gaslighting in an inaccurate and they're using gaslighting in an inaccurate way, and it just to the point of like, someone tell me to stop gassing. I say, I like Inigo Montoya. You keep using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means. Okay, so let's see here. Now, where are we talking? Patrick Meredith says, I'll go back and watch the video earlier. Always prioritize live streams. Thank you very much. Yeah, the one from today. So the one from today, criminalizing disinformation and misinformation, whatever that means. By the way, disinformation and misinformation. Now, they have not drafted the law. They may never draft the law. It's probably just a knee-jerk reaction. And they might never get around to it, because they might actually realize they have all the criminal laws they need in the criminal code. Just imagine that. Like, that's the ministry of truth. That is like YouTube when they unveiled their truth panel, which the panel, if no one had seen my original video on it a year ago, almost to the day, I think, it was the panel that comes down when you get on a video. But it's a truth panel. It's the ministry of truth. I saw Mandatory Carry, who I've not seen today. Mandatory, how you doing? Who is corrupt, but they're not the worst player. Iran is and always will be. China's no wilting innocent either, though. The WHO is proving themselves to be. They're discrediting themselves, and that's the other thing. Is like, everybody's like, okay, the WHO at one point in January 14th said China confirms there is no definitive, what did they say, conclusive evidence of human-to-human contagion. Okay. How radically wrong do you have to be before we no longer regard you as a credible source? Then, more recently saying, wearing face masks is ineffective to preventing this. What did they say? There was a wording to it, but they said basically it's not effective to preventing the spread or protecting yourself. Yeah, you know what? I'm not a doctor. I don't have to be a doctor to know that I don't believe that. And so how many times do you have to be wrong before we just stop listening to you? We don't have to call you names. We don't have to tear down the building. How many times do you have to be wrong before I just stop listening to you? We have not yet stopped listening. And then people say, who else? Someone actually said, well, who else am I going to listen to? I said, I don't care, but I'm not going to listen to someone who has been consistently wrong. I don't care who they are. If I have a doctor who has been consistently wrong, I'm not going to listen to that doctor, and I'm going to go find another doctor. I'm not going to listen to that doctor just because they're a doctor. Jesus, I had a doctor perform the rubber band ligation on me. I don't care what that thing per doctor. I'm never going back to that doctor again because I was not happy with the way things went. That's the beauty of it. Thank you very much, Mandatory, by the way, and good to see you again. That was Mandatory. We got Shining Blade says, why is the government taking medical advice from Roger Daltrey and Pete Townsend? Why are they? Hey, why do celebrities? This is the other reason why I don't like promote, share, or share opinions on things that I know I don't have the expertise. I'm allowed to have my beliefs, and I do have my beliefs, but at some point we have to know the limitations of our own knowledge and experience as to where we are able to share our insights versus where we should just believe what we believe, maybe share it, but not with the purpose of trying to influence others, because we may not be any more authorities than the others who share the diametrically opposing beliefs. Thank you very much, by the way, Shining Blade. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Hold on one second. Okay, Matthew Christ. I see Matthew Christ. Shining Blade. We got Matthew Christ. War is peace, freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength. 1984. For anybody who doesn't get it, it's a beautiful gaslight anthem. Okay, Goober. Then we got gaslighting news. Okay, I think there's a trend here, or maybe a joke that I didn't get. Humans today learn word definitions from sitcoms and Facebook and never use dictionaries or other references. They get their news from late night comedy shows. I mean, how much more of an idiocracy do we need to live in to appreciate that? More people, I guarantee you, get their news from John Oliver, Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Kimmel, Jerry Fallon, whatever his name is, then in other, I don't even say, maybe they're better off getting their news from those guys than from CNN or MSNBC, but people get their news from late night comedy. And I just saw, speaking of Tiger King, I saw Colbert did a bit on the Tiger King, and he had an actor portraying the Tiger King, Joe Exotic, who was so good that half the people in the comment section didn't realize that it wasn't actually Joe Exotic talking, and that they were learning and getting information from an actor in a comedy bit on a late night television show. It is to some extent idiocracy when people turn to late night comedians with their notorious penchant for political ideologies to get their information. It's crazy. It's crazy. Okay, where was I before that tangent? Orson Welles would be saying, what the fuck, people? It's just a book. Yeah, there's no question about that. Jonathan Ferry says, for fun, look up We Are the Virus. For a good time on Twitter, great memes, lots of lettuce. It has to have meat in order for it to be good. Okay, we got Jonathan Ferrier. We got C-Tag. Okay, super sticker. I don't know what a super sticker is, but thank you very much. I mean, I know what they are in principle. I always thought people were putting in the words super sticker. But thank you very much, by the way. The T-Gal 11. Super sticker. Now we got Prometheus. I think humans have destroyed the terms socialism and communism by using them in common vernacular wrong for my whole life. Words are fluid. And we live in an era now where words have no definitions whatsoever, where literally can literally mean literally and literally not literally. I mean, that's where when you control language, you control the debates. That is incidentally why people do work so hard. That is why people work so hard actually to control the language and to control you control the narrative through the use of terminology. Get the words to mean what you mean, and then get the concepts to mean what you mean or what you want them to mean, and you can win the argument. It's like, this might be controversial, but when you get the red MAGA hat to literally mean something offensive, that is how you control discussion, is when you basically impose definitions on things that otherwise never had those definitions, and then you can then frame the discussion afterwards. And it's an interesting thing. This is not a left or the right thing, by the way. Both sides do this. It's an amazing thing. When you control language, you control the debate and you control the framing of the discussion. and you limit the discussion, basically. Michael Amundsen says there are overt, covert ways to fact check, i.e., commonalities in search engine use for infection rather than journalistic resources only. Yeah, no, there's no question. There are ways of fact checking. It's just tedious and time consuming, and people are not going to do it. And people are instead going to look at an article in whoever that guy was. I don't remember his name on Twitter, talking about mass graves in New York without mentioning that it's Hart Island and that's how they do graves there. It's just people can fact check. It's tedious and they don't do it. Ow, my balls. That is, if anybody doesn't get it, an Idiocracy reference. And it's possibly the greatest movie ever made. There, I said it. Oh, now, how do I get out of here? Oh, geez. What did I just do here? Okay, nobody can see it, but I just enhanced my screen to the point where I can't see anything anymore. Now I'm back. Okay, so let me see here. We got, ow, my balls is where the last one we were at. Okay, we go. Here we go. Ow, my balls. Now we're back to Scott Burton says, you totally missed the Who. Oh, I get it now. Okay. Now I feel a little dense. I will admit it. I feel stupid. Damn it. Derek Massino says, I object to those people aren't comedians. Touche. Yanin to my name. Yanni, not my name. Sorry. People can handle the truth. That's why they rather laugh at fake news and comedy. No, but the problem is I think a lot of people take comedy as real news, and they've actually like don't appreciate the radical political blinders through which it's being spun. What's your opinion on how it's being handled in Brazil? I got to check the numbers. I heard diverging numbers on Brazil, and that was actually no comment for now, but I'll get to it next time because that was one of the countries that came up in my discussion with my friend. I said, I actually don't know the numbers in Brazil. One of the only ones I didn't look up. Viva, did you say you play cards? Sorry, off topic. Found a perfect vlog for you. Love your vids. US 36,000 deaths. Deaths of 706K. Low rate in Canada, number 2, right? Love your vids. US 36,000 deaths of 706,000 diagnoses total. Lowest rate, Canada, number 2. I don't know. I have to check. But as far as I'm concerned, like the infection or the positive confirmation, the confirmations of infection are secondary because there's just got to be so many people who are in fact infected or have been but were not tested or are not tested. As far as I'm concerned, the actual deaths from the virus are what's really meaningful. But what do I know? I mean, I'm that's just my way of viewing it, and I might be totally oversimplified. Thank you very much, by the way. Delu W. Now I know I saw something else down here. Delu W. Did you say play cards? I hope you did. Did you do that twice? How do I refund one? Because that looks like you might have done this. Let me see something here. Put you in time. I can't see how to block. How do I refund this? So I do apologize if you accidentally did that twice. Confirmation bias. Well, there's no question. Confirmation bias is something that people have to check. Yeah. So getting back to the disinformation, it is the disinformation today is disinformation tomorrow. Disinformation today is information tomorrow. You cannot stifle freedom of speech and think that it's going to actually have the impact you want it to have. Sebastian's Papa says, thanks for the stream. Have a good night. Sebastian's Papa, you too. Sleep well. You cannot. It's all good. Love you. Thank you very much. Sorry about that. You cannot stifle freedom of speech and think that the effect is going to be, oh, those ideas were so stupid that I'm glad the government told me they should be illegal to be shared. I mean, you have to. I don't even think like fascist dictators think that works. I mean, like it's an impossible idea. My whole reflex, and call me a rebel or what's the word I'm looking for? Maybe not a rebel, but like someone who can't stand authority. Someone tells me that I can't hear something, I immediately think there's a good reason why they're trying to prevent me from hearing it. And someone wants to share idiotic ideas. Someone wants to tell you that drinking fish cleaner is going to cure your virus. Let them talk about it, because by God, you'll have 50 people tell them, don't do that. You're an idiot if you do that. Hey, dude, how do I do at-home liposuction? You don't, dummy. And if you ask the question publicly and it's not illegal to have that discourse, you'll find the truth through people who are willing to share the truth. And the things which are not clear enough that are open for discussion, that's what a free society is about, is having discussion about the uncomfortable things that have neither black nor white answers. That random guy says Sweden 1 in 7,000, USA 1 in 8,000, Italy 1 in 2,000, Canada 1 in 28,000, Spain 1 in 2,000. Those are the total populations deaths attributed to the coronavirus. Maybe, but in which case Canada's been very good. I mean, but Canada has 1,400, 1,300, whatever. We know the raw numbers. It's just a question now of what's going to happen going into the summer months and what's going to happen once the virus spreads easily and quickly to the most vulnerable. After that, that's called the outbreak. What happens after that? Meanwhile, 22 million people unemployed in the States. Meanwhile, 8.5 million people in New York. I don't know how many of them are working paycheck to paycheck before this, haven't had a paycheck in a month, don't even have money for food, even if they can find food in the grocery stores that are sold out. Hey, what's the greater risk, by the way? Ask yourself that question. What's the greater risk? They're already out in the streets looking for food, and they're already out in the streets looking for money. So they're out, not social distancing. Meanwhile, what's the greater risk? What's the actual greater risk? Answer that question, and you might answer what would be the most appropriate policy, regardless of whether or not you like that answer. Who else? I'll talk about something else. An hour and 20 minutes. We've been good. This has been very good. Okay. Let's see here. I want to get a lot of questions that are not super chats. Death per million. Look at this. Deaths per million. Belgium, Sweden. Where is Italy in there? Deaths per million. Belgium is 425. That's interesting. Netherlands is 193. Switzerland and Canada. Where's Canada in there? I don't see Canada. Maybe it's not on the chart even. I use Floby for cutting my hair. Highly recommended. Okay, that's very interesting, Melvin. What else was there? What were the other weekly vlogs? Hold on. Let me just see what I did this week. Oh, hold on. Let's see. The 10:46. I'm still live. ... Would you like me to send you the link? ? We might have a special guest. This was actually not planned. Let me just see if I can do this. Okay, I'm going to send myself this is what I got to do. Invite. We might have a guest, so stay tuned for 1 second. Copy. Let me see if I can't actually do this as we speak. The TR, so we had the order in Kentucky. Oh, let me see. I hope the person did not leave. If we can do this, I don't want to put anybody on the spot if I can't get them link. And I'm going to do this here. Okay, let's just see. If I get a response within the next 2 minutes, we'll get someone in on the stream. Go for it. Okay, guys. I think we're getting the amazing Lucas in now. Okay, how do I do this? I'm going to go here. No, I'm going to do it here. This is what we're going to do. Okay. We might be getting the amazing Lucas. Copy link, send it. Booyakasha. This is going to be funny. We'll get a good half hour with Lucas. See when he comes in. Did I just cut everybody out? No, I didn't. Close this. Okay. No joke, by the way. The amazing Lucas may be coming in right now. Let me just see when I see his face. Oh my goodness. Okay. Let's just see when he gets this. Oh, is this going to be funny? In the meantime, look at that. Now, in the meantime, okay, Lucas and I were supposed to do like a vlog of our favorite stories from 2019, and then the world fell apart. Now, Jonathan Ferrier says, Chile has a 100% recovery rate. They count those that died from coronavirus as recovered. They count those that died as recovered. Canada has 31 per million. Counting those that died as recovered seems like maybe not the best way to do it. Okay, so about 20% of hold on, let's see. I know I missed the super chat here, but it was about 20% of the population died. Here we go. Chris says about 20% of the Chinese population died to famine under Mao. If we destroy the economy now, the famines will be worse than the unchecked COVID. So I have a friend who's concerned about that as well. I don't think we're ever going to get there. Because I think, luckily, people have enough of the historical foresight to actually, make sure that doesn't happen again. And technology today is what it was not back in the day. But yeah, it's crazy. Okay, now while we're waiting for a Lucas to get in here, let's see if this actually happens. Hi from California, Divinity, nice to see you. We'll see. Lucas is a Californian as well. Let's see if we can get him in here. Is my head glowing with glistening light? Where is he? Should be coming. If one wants to be technical, someone who is dead probably is no longer sick. Luckily, Trump is giving farmers billions more, so we have food. Yeah, the only question is that money comes from somewhere later on, so we'll see. Let me see if Lucas has messaged me back here. Okay. Ready when you are. ... People are waiting for you. ! LOL. I've got to make the... Okay, let's see what happens. David, have you seen what the sheriff's office did in Wisconsin? They threatened to lock up a teen for sharing that she had COVID. So someone sent me that story and the lawsuit, incidentally. Was it Wisconsin or was it Florida? Why do I remember it being Florida? Or she was in Florida on spring break and then posted on Twitter that she had COVID and they said take it down and she didn't take it down. And then they threw... There's a civil lawsuit that someone sent me today, which I'm most certainly going to do my best to get to. Carl Schreiner says, this is a super chat for Deustayer. It is unavailable in his country. Deustayer says, I have a question for you, which is not related to the current situation. What do you think of judicial activism? Hey, judicial activism is always a problem. I mean, it's always a problem where first of all, Carl, thank you very much for doing that. I would have seen, if I had seen it, I would have taken it anyhow. But judicial activism is always the risk. It's always a problem. It's why you want to pick your judges properly, and it's why you want to have judges that apply the law and not apply their politics. But it's the risk of it's the risk. It's always the risk of having judges that exceed the application of the law. Look what's coming in here, people. Hold on, one more super chat. It's always the risk, by the way. It's bottom line. Super Chocolates, how about $18 million of syrup? Maybe. How about the amazing Lucas? Lucas!
Hey! What's up, guys?
This is... How you doing?
I'm doing. How you doing?
I'm doing. So you're in California, right?
I'm like a bum. Holy.
Now you look good. You look good. Can you lift up your shirt so we can see what your shirt says?
Miss me with that nonsense. Which all this is, by the way.
Say that again.
Nonsense.
You're in Cali, right? Like I'm allowed to disclose
LA? Yeah. Well, it's too late. You already did. You're in Cali, right?
No, I'm pretty sure that's common knowledge. Lucas, what is going on in LA now? Tell the world.
Nothing. Literally nothing, my guy. There's no one in the streets. I was trying to go. Where was I going? That's where I went to Target. Everything's shut down. All the clothes like H&M, Fig and Seventh, everything is shut down. Because I'm downtown. Everything is I don't know, man. I'm going to the store. There are lines for the store.
Okay, so
I've never had a line for the store to get in the store to get in another line. So this is like some DMV stuff.
Well, that's my point. Now, is the lines to get into the store? Is it lines to get into any store or food grocery stores?
Grocery stores. I don't know any other stores that are open. That's the thing.
Okay, and when you get into the grocery stores, is it like 2 at a time? Are they counting people? And is there food on the shelves?
The toilet paper. I got me some toilet paper. It was the last one. It was the last, because I was starting to think, I was like, where are these idiots getting toilet paper? Until I started running out. I was on my last roll. I was like, okay, maybe I need to go get some toilet paper. But yeah, it's kind of toned down a little bit right now. But yeah, they're still doing lines, man. So I have to go to like non-name brand like stores, because like the Ralphs, the Vons, Trader Joe's, many of them are just packed. So I got to go to like El Chapo's or something like that.
Well, and there's food on the shelves, right? It's not like the shelves are empty.
Not all of them. No. Some of them are still certain items are still bare. I can't find rice. Can't find rice anywhere. There are a few things that are missing, but I eat like TV dinner, so the TV dinners are still there, my guy.
I was thinking like half of the population in the States, the diet, not in the States, but even in Canada, like the young population, they eat macaroni and cheese anyhow. It's nothing's gonna. You have your mac and cheese, you have noodles for the there's a certain demographic, a certain part of the population is like, I want fresh fruits and I want certain things that I can't get. Kale now, like you can get kale, or chili peppers apparently are very in high demand, but like. Yeah, it's for most people the diet with a
there were no oranges. That's right. There were no. I had to get What are they called? What are these? The
Mandarins?
No, heck no, I can't stand mandarins. They're like the baby oranges, I think.
Clementines.
Clementine. What?
I don't know.
What are
Show me what they look like.
Are you just naming random women's names? Clementine, Ashley. Those are Ashley.
There's a lamp. You got a lamp.
No, they're I think angels or angies, something like that.
Did I say tangerines? I didn't throw tangerines out yet.
Yeah, no, not tangerines. They're like small oranges.
You're in California and you can't get oranges, and like we're in Canada. I think in Montreal we're getting oranges, but I think they're coming from
cuties.
California.
That's what they're called, cuties. He said.
So okay, that's crazy. So certain items are out, rice and like I don't know, non-perishables. Are you in a state of? I'm dying to know these things. Like, are you nervous when you're walking the streets? Are people knocking people over to get their groceries? Are people angry? Are people on edge?
Everyone has a mask. Everyone has a mask now. As soon as they said, "Yo, you can wear a mask," people went to rush towards masks. I have a friend. They wouldn't even allow him into the store without a mask. This was in, I think, where is it? Orange County, I believe. And then he was trying to go to Walmart. All the clothes are shut down. Couldn't even get clothes. Couldn't even buy clothes because they're deemed non-essential.
It's amazing. Okay, and now and so they're not making you wear masks, but everybody's wearing them nonetheless.
Everyone's wearing masks. And some places you can't get in there without wearing a mask. So it may not be mandatory, but if you want to get into that store, you got to wear a mask.
And the story you just did the other day on the person getting tackled off a bus because they weren't wearing the mask, where was that?
I believe that was Philly.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So
they're playing. They wearing gloves and everything. I went to Best Buy to get a tablet, and they had like little markers set up. I couldn't even go into the store, bro. I couldn't even go into the store.
At least your Best Buy is open. That's sort of soothing to me. Like my battery.
Is it though?
Essential services.
They had little 6 feet markers, which weren't even like pasted to the ground. So people were like kicking them all over. I was like, that doesn't look 6 feet. That doesn't look like 6 feet to me. But whatever. I'm standing in line. Dude comes up in a mask. He's like, yo, can I help you? I was like, yeah, bro. What do you mean, can you? No, I'm good. I just need to get into the store. I'll figure out what I need to, find out. Because I'm one of those that's like, yo, I have this in mind. I'm going to get that. But I want to see, maybe there's other options that I didn't see online. He was like, nah, you ain't doing that. What do you want to get? I was like, what do I want to get? He's like, yeah. So we'll get it for you. You need to pull it up and we'll get it for you. And then we'll bring you outside. And they had a little register outside with the tent and everything. Talking about they had little drive-throughs. So you can drive up, pick up your stuff, and then drive off.
Yeah, no, there's no what's the like site shopping. I've got
all that is gone. You got to know which is good, right? Which is a benefit. It's a benefit.
No, there's no question.
If you have a wife or a girlfriend.
Well, there's certain restrictions I can understand. First of all, somebody just said I don't know the amazing Lucas donation joining the man Viva Frei. Everything 4,004. For anybody who doesn't know the amazing Lucas, I would say he's Viva Frei without a filter, or
he's Viva Frei without a filter.
No, amazing Lucas is amazing, insightful. You will not necessarily always agree with.
I'm the black Viva Frei without the glasses and the family and the law degree.
Nonetheless, extremely insightful.
And the house.
I occasionally disagree with Lucas, but check out his channel. It's called The Amazing Lucas. It's phenomenal stuff. No, so I have a buddy who has a pet supply store up the street, Little Bear. It's called Little Bear Montreal, if anybody doesn't know it. But yeah, he says like, okay, we'll give you everything you need, 2 at a time in the store, no more. And there's no like, what do they call shopping? You don't walk around. What do you need? We're going to bring it to you. And that's it. Some, 99% of the people understand and appreciate it. They know what they want. They come in, give me a bag of dog food, I'm out. And then others don't necessarily appreciate it or understand or get upset.
I can't stand it. I'm one of those where I'll see something like, oh, what's that? Like, I want to try it. Right? Oh, let me try out that new cereal. It's a new cereal, right? Because I get tired of eating Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Maybe there's like Cinnamon Toast Oreo Crunch. I'm like, okay, let's try that out, right? These companies pay big money to be on these shelves on certain, they figure out, okay, this is where the most traffic is. We're going to put our product on the end of the shelf because we're going to put the gum over here, right? They pay all this money for this, and it's just completely gone. Now it's like, what do you want?
Okay. And not like, I guess most people are not necessarily stocking up on gum and mints, and maybe they're on chocolate bars and whatever. But so Lucas, there's no dramatic increase in crime maybe shoplifting, but no like assaults, robbery, things like that. Is things under?
I mean, not that I know of. I mean, I haven't been, I have to check my police scanner, every night that I go out to fight crime. But this guy.
Tell everybody, what are you doing on a daily basis? Are you? I don't know where you live. Like if you're in an apartment or a house or
living in hell. That's where I'm living. What do you mean?
What is your
gym is closed? I'm in home all day. I mean, go to the store. I mean, that's it. Maybe I just can't do this home workout stuff. I'm trying. People are going out to the park and working out and stuff like that, but you never know in LA. You never know. You may get shamed. Why are you outside, young man?
But no joke. Where was it? It was in Malibu. I'm going to bring up some super chats while we're talking and not interfere with the discussion. But it was in Malibu. The guy on the paddleboard actually got arrested for defying stay-at-home orders.
No one out. Dude, just all by himself. Just 2 giant chips. What are you doing?
Yeah, it's beyond. I mean, it's beyond. You did a video on that, right?
I mentioned it. I didn't do a whole video on it, but yeah, I mentioned it.
It's crazy. The ridiculous thing is like the one thing I don't understand. I mean, for the love of all things that are holy, I don't understand. They're letting people out of jail because of the COVID. At the same time, they're if not arresting people, issuing fines for breaking quarantine or for breaking social distancing rules. What happens to the people they let out of prison? I imagine they don't necessarily not stay off the streets, and not stay off the streets like in a bad way, but like they don't necessarily have places to go. They get out of jail, and what do they do with them? Do you know?
It's a great question. That's the $1 million question. Because I was just reading where they're not even giving, the police the names of the people that release. So they're in the black. They're like, we don't know who's being released because of the CV and who's being released because it's time to be released. I don't know, man. Doesn't make sense to me.
Canada's doing pretty well. And I'm in Montreal, so it's sort of like it's a big city. We're like 2.5 million. I don't know, 2-3 million people on the island, and more if you include the outlying areas. The one thing that just blows my mind in terms of counterintuitive policies is that they don't want people breaching or violating social distancing guidelines. So they close off the parks, they close off the public walkways, and so what invariably ends up happening is the same people are still out. They're just now filtered or condensed into narrower streets as opposed to being able to walk through open areas. Like in Cali, or have they shut down parks, playgrounds, all the whole thing?
I don't know. I haven't been to a park in a while. Yes,
either.
Yeah, I don't really frequent parks and stuff. I'm sure they're probably locked down. I'm definitely, yeah.
Okay, we got Jason McConnell, by the way, says, I'm starting to feel better about living in Ontario, most crap city. Bought clothes at Walmart today, hit up the quiet LCBO, and got all the LCBO is the liquor commission in Ontario. Got some oranges at Safeway. P.S. Love Lucas a long time. I'm not
normal oranges. Okay, got you. Don't hate on my cuties. Cuties are actually more tastier than the big oranges.
Do they have seeds?
No, I don't. Yeah, no, they don't.
If they have seeds, that's
they did. Oh man, it's messed up my digestional tract.
What now? Let me ask you something. In terms of content, now you're still producing. You're putting out 1-2 videos a day now, still.
Yeah, I'm trying. It's just tiring because it's like, I don't know. It's waking up, going to sleep, and there's no release, bro. Like I stay at home as is, but my release was like going out to the gym, maybe going out with friends. So now it's just like, okay, all right, okay.
To put things in perspective, like my days didn't really change. Like I walk the dogs and I do work. Is that my echo or you? I hear an echo. And like now we're stuck in with the 3 kids, and like we there's only so much you can do to keep 3 kids entertained when they're kept within the vicinity of the house. No play dates. I can't go bowling. We can't go. I
saw your little golf ball challenge.
Oh my god!
6 golf balls. Oh yo,
I'm done with that. No, I did
on edge right now.
I accidentally started today trying to do golf ball, ping pong ball, golf ball, ping pong, golf ball, ping pong, and another golf ball. But I gave up. I said I'm done. I'm never doing it again. But that's the level of insanity. Like the days are long, and you're stuck in a very closed vicinity. It's amazing.
Yeah. I think a lot of relationships are going to fall apart.
Yeah,
there'll be a lot of divorces after this.
As soon as the courts open up, I might get into family law. It's going to be
yeah.
market.
Big monies.
How are you doing? So, I mean, you pick your subjects, but are you getting tired of dealing with coronavirus related content?
No, I mean, it's always spicy. There's always something spicy going on, always, regardless if it's corona or this or that. I think the one thing that's helped me get through is honestly the video games.
You're doing more gaming vids than
more game, because I haven't been playing games like at all unless it's like a big title or something. But now it's like, yo, it's nothing else. It's nothing else to do. So if I didn't have that, I mean, I guess learn some Spanish, take up a skill. Right? These are those people who are like, well, this is the time that you improve yourself. Okay, this is the time where you learn a new language, you master a different skill. You know that art class you want to take. Well, you take it today, and you learn about how to draw the human figure. I can't stand those people. I'm just like, bruh, what's wrong with you? What do you mean?
I love it. Your choices are play video games, or do I learn Spanish, or what games are you playing online?
Finished Doom Eternal. I'm on LA Noire. It's a game that I wanted to play, but I was like, yo, it's kind of long and tedious, so I never got around to playing it. But I'm like, hey, I got all day, every day right now, so I'm playing that. Final Fantasy VII. Something. A lot of games that I probably wouldn't go out and buy. Like I wouldn't go out and buy Final Fantasy VII, but people like super chat, like, yo, here's money, buy this game, play this game. All right, you're gonna super chat the money to get it. I'll play it. I'll play it.
I'm wondering, I think in the overlap between our respective subscriber base, a lot of people on this chat might not know what these games are, but we'll see.
Fair. Yeah, that's fair.
I'm going to read a few super chats. The John Beck says, everything needs to be free speech. It's the stuff that one disagrees with, that hates, that needs the protecting, even if because it's undeserving. No question. Freedom of speech does not mean freedom of speech for that which you agree with. Lucas and I, as far as freedom of speech goes, I know we are on the same wavelength because we're in the same realm of things that get, negative stuff.
Unless you think Tobey Maguire isn't the best Spider-Man, then I think those people should be locked up. I think those people should be locked up because they're a danger to society.
I couldn't name you another Spider-Man I could not name you another Spider-Man.
That's because none exists. That's correct.
Jonathan Ferry says, if we are going to empty the prisons to save the inmates because of the close contact, should we empty the long-term care homes on the street as well? Well, no joke. You saw what's going on in Vegas. They were like, they're drawing squares on the streets to give homeless people their social isolation because they can't be in close quarters anymore. It's a backwards world that we're living in.
Well, they're putting them in hotels in LA. I mean, Cali.
that makes more sense. Like I tweeted out to the CEO of Marriott. Yeah, Marriott. A while back was, we have to furlough 10,000 employees and whatever. It's like, dude, you got buildings in every country that's affected by the virus. Open it up to, if it's not to hospitals, to makeshift hospitals, at least to staff so they can stay there. You can get subsidies. You can keep your staff employed. You can keep your goodwill and your brand while this goes on. But what do I know? I'm just an idiot. That's the bottom line.
I'm just an idiot. I'm going to use that. Yeah, man. I think a lot of businesses aren't coming back from this.
I don't know.
That's the sad part. I think a lot of people who are on unemployment are going to stay on unemployment for a while.
That's what was it now? The last I saw was in the States was 22 million now are applied for unemployment over the last few months.
Probably. I'm sure the number is probably higher by now.
It's crazy. Someone said
we haven't even hit the peak. I don't even think we've hit the bottom on the stock market, to be honest.
Well, I mean, it's because it bounced back a little bit, but someone says, I wonder if there's going to be a baby boom in 9 months. There's going to be a number of trends to follow in 9 months' time. But no, so the crazy thing is, Lucas, we were talking about doing a stream about our favorite stories from 2019, and then the shit hit the fan, and we didn't ever get to do it. Do we? Okay, let's say it again.
So, what are the odds?
What are the odds? Well, one thing's for sure. We know what our favorite story what the most in your face story of 2020 is going to be. What's been your most? Do you know what's been your most popular video under the my Shrona, the CV 2020? Like what video took off the most for you?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. Not sure. Right. I can check, I guess. I'm sure I can check.
Now okay, so you're stuck around the house. You're still doing 2 videos a day, give or take.
Rub it in.
No. I said I'm not alone. And you're playing.
Chris Kuma gets caught lying.
Oh yeah. Wait, you put that one out yesterday,
His
right?
dingleberry self. I think so. I believe so.
That was the one where he says he doesn't like his life. He doesn't like the vapid.
Complete breakdown. And then turns around and says, I don't know how you guys misconstrued my words to think I was leaving CNN and I didn't like my position. And because that's exactly what you just said.
If nobody has seen that, instead, like I only saw it, I watched your video. I didn't see the full thing, but like Chris Cuomo, who has all the reason in the world to not necessarily be as happy with himself as he could be, was had like a moment of reflection where he says, "I hate what I'm doing. I'm promoting hyper partisan crap, misinforming the public," and then the next day says, "I didn't mean what I said. Basically, I'm happy with my position." How much does he make a year? Do we know that? I mean, I know that someone just said what he was worth,
Probably a few million.
It's got to be more than a few million. But
it's like that South Park episode where what was it? Where Will Smith doesn't want to do another movie. He's like, I don't know about this movie, but the kids are like, please, Daddy, please do another movie. We want to get a unicorn. Please, Daddy, make another movie.
No, but it's like I feel bad for Chris Cuomo only because it's like it's the same. Everyone has the same crises to some extent. Like, at some point, I don't want to. It has yet to happen. I hope it doesn't happen. Make another vlog for do your thing. It's like Steve Martin once said that basically every stand-up comic becomes a caricature of themselves at some point, or everybody becomes a character of themselves. And I can see Chris Cuomo. First of all, he was already a caricature of himself. I would feel ashamed if all I did was promote hyperpartisan crap that divides and misinforms. I'd be ashamed. Couldn't pay me enough to do that.
If anyone from CNN is watching, I don't have that same sentiment.
you say that now, but
you want to pay me a few mil to put out, I don't know, Trump is destroying the economy. I'll do it for maybe about 2 years, stack my money, and then bounce.
No, but you say that, but stack your money. The other thing is, like, I'm looking at Mike Bloomberg, who has been stacking his money, and then you realize when society goes down, you're billions of dollars. Even if you can hold on to it, I don't know how much he's lost over the last 2 months. Even if you can hold on to it, it's worthless if you can't go outside because people want to like eat you because they resent you so much. Like, it's nice.
I'm sure that's why you can just fly to a private island or something. Go to Epstein's Island, have a party.
Yeah. Nobody bought that one yet, eh?
Not yet.
Oh, wait. So like, what is what's your long-term plans? Everything's on hold. California, things are stable, but nobody's doing anything.
Yeah, I think, that's it. I think why people are on the edge is because we don't have a date. What's the point of having a date if you're just constantly going to be pushing it back? Because I was doing jumping jacks. I was just ready for March 31st. I was like, okay, the gym, I can handle 2 weeks. I can figure something out. Then they're like, nah, we doing to April 29th. Then from April 29th, it turned to May 15th. And they're just going to keep pushing it back. So you get restless.
Well, no, there's no question. What is the most recent? First of all, is it Gavin Newsom who is the governor that is issuing these dates?
For LA?
Yeah.
Los Angeles? I believe so.
And general sentiment, people happy with Gavin or not?
Right now, last I checked it, he was getting praise.
Okay, interesting. And highways, are they empty or are they still packed?
They're empty. Oh my God, it's amazing. It's amazing. But there's a lot more police, so it's like it's give and take.
No, that's the amazing thing. Someone says boiling the frogs. Yeah, in Quebec, like we're not allowed traveling. There is restrictions on interprovincial travel, so I couldn't go to Ontario.
Interprovincial travel, you said?
Interprovincial.
Oh,
so like. No, like
Ontario's that far ahead of the future.
No, we can't. I can't go to Ontario. It's 45 minutes to the west. But like we will get stopped at the border. They have checkpoints. They have the spinners that just detect license plates to they see if you're too far from your place of residence to be meandering. It's crazy. Dude,
that is crazy.
We got our new Subaru leased like 2 months ago. We put on 175 kilometers in 2 months. It's like I've been using it as an office and not as a car. It's phenomenal.
Wow.
But so I mean it's crazy. Are you allowed to leave the state if you want to? Like, can you?
I have no idea, honestly. I haven't, because I was going for there's a Joe Rogan show that I was going to in New Orleans,
Oh yeah.
And everything got postponed. So I don't even know. I have no idea.
Joshua Cornelius said, you can't have the ability to feel shame to be MSM hack. It's called sociopathy. Roads everywhere are empty. Even GWB, even the GWB, I love it. So, Lucas, Joshua Cornelius is a trucker who is now in Virginia, I believe, driving. He's one of the essential service workers who's been driving cross country as long as I've known him on YouTube. It's crazy. It says, okay, we got Dapper Day says, no one has asked if Como given hydrochlor. Oh, God. So, Lucas, tell what happened with him saying he thought he had the COVID and then being outside playing with his kids 2 days later.
Well, when he got it, all hell broke loose. He was talking about how he was in the basement, right? Couldn't even go to his kids. Couldn't even see his wife, his family, right? I was like, dang, this dude's in the basement, slumming it in his $1 million home, right? I'm like, okay. He's talking about, yo, I have a fever, man. I'm having a fever. I can't shake this fever. He was talking about how he was having chills. He was shivering so much. He alleged that he chipped his tooth. Bro. I'm like, he's laying it thick, man. He laying it thick like cold peanut butter, just slapping it on there, bro. I'm like, okay, all right, guy. He was like, I'm having hallucinations, just hallucinations. And oh, really? Hallucinations. Having hallucinations. I saw my father. All of this, bro. All this. He's like, yo, that's why we need to stay inside. We need to listen to the experts. Trump's talking about opening up the economy. This is crazy. Listen to the experts. We need to stay inside. Yada, yada, yada. I'm to find out. This fool, apparently he was visiting. He was watching a new home that he's building or something that's going on. And someone was biking. And they were like, yo, isn't that Chris Como? And he gets off his bike. He's like, is that Chris Como? And his wife comes up. He's like, yo, how can I help you? I was like, isn't that fool supposed to be in quarantine?
This is the amazing thing. Like, this is social media. I tend to trust people more if they have a social media footprint because I can sort of like, if I want to, I can see what they've been doing, like track them down, see their activity. You have to be stupid or just so idiotic to not appreciate that you leave a social media footprint to not behave accordingly. And like the funny thing is, like, whenever I think about making an excuse about something, I don't do it because, like, I might have posted something on Twitter where someone's like, oh, really? You were sick yesterday. What's this picture of you going fishing in the river?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You have to be so, you have to be next level. Ew.
He's just out there in the open with his wife and his kids, right? And that's the crazy, bro. I was like, yo, you were telling us how dangerous this is, and you're around your kids and your wife. So now we come to find out that his wife caught it.
Wait, did she or did she not?
That's I believe she did. That's what we come to find out, that his wife caught it.
Well, oh my God! At the very least, I mean, in theory, even if he had it, it was probably the kids that gave it to him in the first place.
Of course.
How?
You know what he said? He said, "I can do what I want." That's what he says in response to all this.
Was it on video, the confrontation with the biker?
No, it wasn't. I wish it was. But the biker, he filed a police report because he alleges that Cuomo threatened him.
By spitting or verbally threatened?
Verbal threat.
I wouldn't put it past. I mean, having seen the other undercover or the other accidental recordings, wouldn't put it past him.
Fredo got a little temper on him. He's an angry elf.
I imagine he's 6 feet tall. Is he not tall?
I would think so.
Okay, Joshua Cornelius says, what did everyone think of Joe Rogan giving his guest COVID tests at will while there continues to be a shortage for the medical community?
6'2". Yeah, he's a pretty tall guy.
He's 6'2". Yeah, he strikes me as being a big frame dude. Like, I only look big on the internet, and then when people see me in real life, they realize that, like, I'm sitting on a booster to get into my camera. Man, so like, what is that like? It's crazy. So you have your friends. Are you seeing friends? You seeing family? Your parents? Like,
I'm not seeing anything but my reflection. It's brutal. I'm tired of looking at me. That's how much I'm seeing it.
Well, you still look good. You look good. You look. Let me look at your complexion. Looks good. Have you spoken to your parents or your parents? Your mom's?
Yeah, I drive to see moms.
Okay.
Family, make sure they're doing well.
Amazing. But that's it. So, like, it's permanent suspension. Nothing changes much for us because we continue doing what we're doing. It's just that the world around us is is no
Yeah,
longer.
man. Yeah. And it gets tiring because you need that break. So every once in a while, I'll walk outside, right? I'll take a walk just to be like, okay, this is what the world looks like. This is what people look like whenever you see them. But other than that, it's pretty intense, man. I've never seen anything like this before.
Are you able to go to the beach? Are you able to get out to open areas, or you don't even do that?
I haven't even gone to the beach. I take the beach for granted. It's like, yeah, okay. I grew up here, so I was like, okay, I get it. I get the sand, I get the water, I get it. But the weather isn't even that good right now. So there's not even a reason to go out anywhere. Because last time it was just raining a few days ago. I was like, this is literal hell. like I don't know how it can get any worse than that. I have to stay at home. And then if I want to go outside, it's rain. I hate the rain. You don't understand. I hate the rain more than I probably hate the Klan. I'm just saying.
Lucas, I literally just said something not identical, but the other day it was snowing here. Like it was snowing yesterday, the day before, and somewhat today in like mid-April. So we're stuck here. We go out to go biking. The kids, the fingers are freezing off. We can't even like go up and down the street. We can't even play with chalk on the street because it's so cold. And it literally is like it's a backwards world. Like it's just.
Oh my gosh, the worst thing ever.
If I may, how does your hair look?
Hair is horrible, bro.
You can't. Okay, let's see. Can we see it, or you don't want to?
Nope. Can't see it.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
all black people are hiding everything.
I can tell you. I show you.
Line up nothing. You don't understand. You can go free like that, but black people, we need lineups, right? We need fades. We high tapers. We have a regimen. So it's our slave hair starts to grow out. We keep it saying.
So you have. It's not like you've shaved it yourself and done a bad job. You have not cut your hair.
I just haven't cut yet. No.
Okay. I bet you people would pay to see that, but that'll be.
They would. They have some strange fascination. Lucas, why don't you take off your hat? I'm like, there's pictures on my Instagram with me without my hat. Like, what's the big deal? I don't get it. It's like the equivalent of feet pics or something. Let me see them. Like, okay, guy.
So someone says. Katie says, "Love your smile, Lucas. It is a good, wholesome smile. It is a smile that nobody
paid a lot for it."
Let's see. Here we go. Hair or riot? Hold on. Where was that comment? Hair or riot? Hair or riot? So someone's going to say like, there's going to be an underground at-home coiffeur service, like a la.
Yeah, I don't know why people haven't advertised that. Like I would think barbers and nail salons, they would be making bank right now. Because everyone's talking about, I need a haircut. I need my nails did. I'd be like, yo, just come over. I'll come to you for a premium.
But you know what the crazy thing is? I guarantee you it's because literally you have neighbors looking out their windows. And if they see someone who doesn't live in the house going into the house, they're calling their local
stitches, bro. Stitches get stitches. But I guess in certain neighborhoods, you can't do that because they'd be like, hello? Hello, police.
There's no question. Like, are you on Twitter, by the way? You're not on Twitter, right?
No, after my fifth account.
Okay, well, I was going to say there were actually tweets like in Canada that people were asking our prime minister, who do they report people who are breaching quarantine to? Because people want to call the
They're not playing around, man. Yeah, you have this great divide of people who are like, okay, it's bad, but it's not that bad. And then you have other people who are like, what the heck is wrong with you? Do you want to kill everyone? So.
I gotta say, I thought there's I have a neighbor up the street. It's the neighbor's mother, Russian, doesn't speak a word of English, and like she wants to pet my dog, I have a paralyzed puggle, and she loves the dog, and like she pet the dog, and like I didn't know if I'm supposed to like back away from her and take you can't touch the dog, like and I'm not nervous for me, I'm nervous for her, like it is a collective. It's a collective trauma that's going to last a long time. It's like,
can someone sue, right? Like, yo, I got the CV from his dog. I want to sue.
I don't think. I mean, I think they could, but I don't think they would ever have any chance of success. We're going to see. There's going to be lawsuits born out of this. I want to see what happens with the class action against China, but the news is developing as to the news coming out of China. But there's going to be lawsuits up the wazoo. I'm sure there's going to be life insurance denials. On the basis
the news story is that I was just reading, what was it on? I think it was on Drudge, where they're now claiming that it didn't even come out of China. It existed before Wuhan.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
I mean, but this is where inaccurate terminology is going to come into play. The coronavirus is a class of virus that has always existed. I've been saying it for a while. Like on my Lysol cans, I noticed it says it kills coronavirus. I was like, oh, crap, you guys rebranded quickly, but it has existed for the longest time. It's the COVID-19, which is the novel coronavirus. Whatever. Yeah, there's going to be a battle of information for a long time. But the new Drudge is like the new Coke, not as good as the original. Well, I don't follow the Drudge.
I follow. I don't know. I people are saying it's gotten a little more left. I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah, left or right. It's so long you can verify the information on a story by story basis.
Exactly.
Candy de Leon says Lucas and Viva Frei epic. Respect to this interaction. I'm glad we finally made it happen. We
made it.
Lucas, what was your favorite story of 2009?
We made it.
To go back to normal times when there was actual like non-coronavirus stories. 2019. Most memorable story, most memorable video.
Wait, that's when Juicy came, right? 2019.
Yes.
That's Juicy Smollett. Juicy Smollett is probably my favorite.
Yeah,
that's probably my favorite.
It can't get. I mean, it can't get better. It can't get more. The gift that keeps on giving in terms of
because there's new details coming out even as we speak. Because there's one where apparently the dude that he hired, there was some shooky going on when they were at
the Osundaro brother.
Yeah, where they're going to Chicago bathhouses. But the brother denies it, right? He's like, "Oh my God, you guys have damaged my credibility, because I live in Nigeria where they don't play that. You're threatening my life." But they're like, "Yo, they have the receipts, and it'll all come out during trial." I'm like, "Whoo, yeah, boy."
Well, you can go to the bathhouse. It doesn't mean what you did there. It doesn't mean that you did what somebody's saying you did there. But yeah, there's so many nuances to this. It is going to be scorched earth policy for everybody involved. But there's only one person, in my humble opinion, who's got nothing left to lose, and that's Jussie, who's gonna take it to the end. I've been trying. I don't know. I don't do the Juicy Smoulier, but I know the jokes. But he's the only one. Marco Rubio was at the bathhouse. I don't know who that is. I know who that is. Oh man, yeah. No, can you imagine you look back on life in 2019 and compare it to now, and it's like,
man, I don't even remember 2019. I feel like my brain has gone through so much stress in 2020 that it's completely just removed all the good files. Like it just Control Alt Delete and erase everything. It
is. Have you lost weight or put on weight, or do you not know during this period?
I lose weight. My standard is very, very light frame, so I'm losing weight. I'm trying to, not to.
And now, I just got to ask my own benefit. How many, when you finish a game, how many hours a day are you playing of a video game?
If it's good, I can go on for hours. The longest stream, which is not even that long. I think it was almost 8 hours.
Jeez. So you're doing live? Are you doing it on Twitch?
I don't do that. That was like the longest. Right now, it's usually like maybe anywhere from 3 to 4.
And you say that like that's not insane.
As a gamer, yeah, that's nothing. That's lightweight hours.
Are you streaming this on YouTube or are you on Twitch now?
On YouTube.
And so you're live streaming for 3 to 4 hours playing a game.
Yeah, I'll do 2 games. So right now, because there was a few like people were like, "Go play this." So first it was Bully, and then I forgot the other game. It was Bully, and it was another game. I beat the game, right? So I was like, okay, let me do Bully and LA Noire. Bully, that game came out what 2012. So it's a little brutal. So right now I'm playing Final Fantasy and LA Noire.
I'm gonna go check. First of all,
I'll do like an hour and a half with one, and then I'll switch over to an hour and a half to the other.
Okay, that's crazy. Now hold on, I'm gonna get before I say it. Don't be offended. I don't watch your gaming videos because
that's fine.
I can appreciate it, but not to watch the videos.
Some people, I get it, because there's a certain part of the channel that's like, I'm not really a fan of your gaming videos, but I'll watch your other content. I was like, that's why it's there.
STFU, STFU FFS, which I know what that means. I remember the first attempt to have a live stream. Lucas was like, "Oh damn, I'm supposed to do a live stream, but I can't remember his name." Yeah, Lucas and I have done live streams. We've done I think 2. If
who doesn't remember his name is pronounce your name, because I kept saying Viva
Frei. It doesn't matter. It's my
Frei, but it's Frei.
It's Frei, and it's David. It doesn't. It's whatever. Jason McConnell says Lucas is entirely forgotten 2019. This qualifies him to run for the president of the Democratic nominee. You know what? Lucas could run. I'm convinced you could run for either, and you would give a good run for the money.
That was an awesome super chat.
Yeah, Jason. Thank you very much, Jason.
Oh man.
So, and now I've got to know, like, when you do the live streams and you're playing the games, how much, like, are there a lot of people watching, and like, what's the engagement like?
It can be. It can be. It's a decent amount. We get a lot of super chats. People, saying do this, do that. Yeah, it's fun. Fun times.
Are you getting sponsored by the games?
Sponsored? No, I'm not sponsored by the games.
So you haven't gotten an agent yet, Lucas?
I know. There's so much money I leave on the table. Like, I need to go through my emails. I was talking to. I was like, I'm gonna hire my nephew or something to be like an assistant and just respond to emails, because like I can't keep up with everything. And I was like, oh, what? I didn't know I had an offer. What? This sponsorship and that. I was missing out, man.
Nephew, get you. Well, yeah. The only problem is, how old's your nephew? Your nephew's younger than you. Your nephew has to.
Yes, lawyer, Mr. Lawyer.
Can a nephew be older than the uncle? That's the question. Let me think about that one.
No, he's that's a good question. I think he's 16. No, 18.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, you can put it on your resume, bro.
He might be the right age to know what games you have to play in order to, like, or what games are willing to sponsor you. That seems like the obvious thing to do is sponsor games and just play the games, and nobody even cares if it's sponsored. People want to see you play these games.
I had a few people who reached out, but it was like mobile games. I'm like, I don't do. I make a very strong like no-go when it comes to mobile games, because I feel like once I make that leap to mobile games, my life is over. Like, it's game over. I'm gonna go from my phone, which I'm on always, and then playing games on my phone to go into my console. Nah, you won't see me. I'll be like, my precious, my precious.
By the way,
game over.
John Jenks says Lucas's playthrough of
Walking Dead. Oh my gosh, that game, yes,
was on point.
Walking Dead.
So I have a bit of an addictive personality. I can't even start to get into these things. I want to finish Double Dragon 2 in one unedited video, and it takes like 18 to 20 minutes, and that's almost too much time for me to sit down to do something for.
Wow.
What do we got here? We got Blackleaf, by the way, says, "Hey Lucas, okay, has Lucas heard of Raid Shadow Legends? Raid Shadow Legends is a free-to-play game."
Well, I've gotten an email from them. I've definitely gotten an email from them. So what I do is I'll download the game to see if I even like it. But a lot of these are like turn-based games and stuff. I'm like, I'm not doing any turn-based crappy game. I can't stand that. Yeah, I'm sure they pay well, because a lot of people are like,
get
little intros with them.
I have explored. So we got another. Have you heard of Raid? It was not one of these. It might have been one of these generic ones that everybody does. I mean, unless they were lowballing me. I inquired just for the sake of knowing, and it was only in the hundreds, like 400 to 500, where I said, like, my dignity. I don't think it's not like I would do it for 5,000 just because, even if it's a crappy game, it's like, hey, buy it because I play it all the time. But like, I might be overt about something if it were worth the while. But like, I think they sponsor just too many people to have any meaningful, any meaningful budget per sponsor. God damn.
Yeah, there's another sponsorship that I want to get, and I think I was in talks with them. And I think that may happen, which I'm really excited, because I was using them before. It was I guess I could say it. The Great Courses.
Oh, not Masterclass. I dare say Legal does it. It's someone help us here. We know what we're talking about. The online course. Oh, the online classes, over 10,000 classes online.
Yeah, something like the Great Courses. That's what they're called.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, man. I think there's another one that I'm thinking of, but
maybe I'm incorrect.
Oh man. But that's so
showing off the guns there, guy. Okay.
Yeah, here, look at this.
Oh,
they look bigger on a small person. It's all
somebody's clearly been juicing.
Skillshare is what I'm thinking of. Is that what you were thinking of?
No. Okay. I was thinking of the Great Courses.
Sorry, I was definitely thinking of Skillshare.
You know the word, the thing.
But so Lucas, so now what is your schedule now? So are you're doing live streams daily or every other day or
Usually they start at like 10. They start later on.
10 at night?
Yes.
And then they go until what time?
Like 1 a.m. or sometimes 2.
And then what time do you go to bed?
Usually after that.
And then what time do you wake up?
Wake up at like 5 or 6.
Wait, sorry, say that again. You wake up at what?
5 or 6.
At what, in the morning or in the afternoon?
6. No, in the morning. Wait, 6 in the afternoon? What?
You sleep 4 hours a night? 5 hours
Usually
a night?
like 5 hours, yeah.
Oh, okay, that's very good. Huh, that's not enough sleep, but Lucas does around 2 to 3.
I'll nap in between. I'll nap like when a video's rendering or something.
Huh, that's amazing. Okay, that's still not enough sleep, so you should be getting more sleep than that. And what are you doing for exercise? Just so I can know, are you jogging outside?
I'm just not extra. I've been trying to stretch because I've been sitting more. So my hamstrings, are getting tighter. And everything's locking up. So I've been trying to stretch, foam roll, but I have the stuff to work out. I just can't find the motivation, man. I can't find the drive. So I've been using that drive towards like other business ventures. I've been working on my animation channel, which is doing well.
What's the animation channel and what is it at in subscribers?
It's Amazing Animation, of course. And we just hit 10K.
That's very good. That's phenomenal. Okay, Shining Blade says, from Mitch Sampson, previous Miss Super Chat, please share your own political biases. From me, Shining Blade, Roger, and Pete are the Who. I share my political. I have no political biases. I believe I will. What's the word? Not congregate. I will go towards the truth, whatever side it's on. Lucas, what is your political bias, if you had any? If you had to qualify it that way.
Political biases? I don't know. I try to see what's right. It's about what's fair.
I agree.
Dark Knight, yes.
No, and that's because the thing is, like, someone might say that you're I think you might qualify yourself as conservative, and yet you nonetheless espouse certain beliefs which would not be deemed to be conservative. It's like it's a false dichotomy where you can't bring an individual down to political biases. It's an issue by issue basis.
There's some nuance here and there, but you did get that reference, right? It's about what's fair.
Yes, that's from.
I even said The Dark Knight
because I have also seen The Dark Knight.
Oh my god,
Lucas, what am I going to?
You haven't seen The Dark Knight?
I want to watch. What's the movie I want to watch? I want to watch Harold and Kumar again.
Oh my lord, bro! Wow, you're gonna lose subscribers.
I'm gonna gain.
Oh my gosh, you should be banished. What do you mean?
I haven't seen Joker either. I mean,
yeah, that's The Dark Knight. What do you mean?
Wait, the new one or the old?
No, that's Dark Knight. That's the Dark Knight Rises, whatever. I'm talking about The Dark Knight.
The new Joker movie.
Joker, yes.
Yeah, haven't seen it.
And Two-Face is about what's. Oh my gosh, all my references just wasted, man, wasted. What are you doing right now? You have all this time. You should be watching Batman Begins, The Dark Knight Rises, Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man 2. You can skim over Spider-Man 3, Spider-Verse. What? You should be watching Avengers.
I watched
Avengers.
I tried to watch Easy A the other day, and that was inappropriate for 2 of the 3 kids.
I don't even know what Easy A is. What's Easy A?
It's a glorious movie with Emma Stone about a girl who pretends to have had sex with someone in school, and then her reputation gets around.
Okay,
beautiful movie.
And then have you seen Avengers?
Sorry,
have you seen Avengers?
No, I haven't seen.
I need to take some heart medicine. You're gonna get my blood pressure up. What do you mean? Have you seen Iron Man?
No.
Why do you say it with such vitriol? Like, what do you mean? No, of course not. What do you mean? Where have you been living?
No. I haven't seen a movie I haven't seen a new movie in 3 years that's not a cartoon.
Wow.
It's the life. I can't even, if I can get an hour and a half.
I'm guessing you've seen all the Kung Fu Pandas then.
Yeah, I've seen all the Kung Fu Pandas. I've seen all the Shrek. I've seen Frozen. I've seen Frozen 2. I've seen Ralph.
Poor soul.
I've been watching Tiger King, and I watched 2 episodes with the kids, and then we realized we had to stop watching it with the kids.
Yeah.
Okay, so hold on. What's got Jim Keel says Land O'Lakes changed the Indian on their product.
I saw that. I can't wait to do a video on that. I want to know what motivated them to do that. after I think it's been over 99 years or plus of them having that image. And I would get that butter. That's the thing.
Hold on, I got to see what it is. I don't even know that I know what it is.
It's an Indian woman, right? With a feather. I would get that butter all the time.
Land O'Lakes butter. It's coming right up in the news.
Yeah, it's the most.
Oh, so I've never seen that butter before, so I wouldn't. I don't even know if we get it here. But so they changed the icon of the product
after all these years. Crazy, man.
That's very interesting. Okay, well, that might be an interesting. That'll be in this. You're going to cover that, I presume.
Yeah, I'd really like to know because I actually use the butter. Used to anyway.
Amazing. Okay, so hold on. We've got Alejandro Humbert says Viva needs us to get a list of movies for him to watch. He hasn't seen a movie past 2014 on his own. No, there's no question. I want to see Joker. When am I going to watch Joker? I got kids.
What do you mean? You have what are you doing? That's the question.
It has to be something we can watch with the kids. So, like, I've been going through my DVD collection.
You can watch that with the kids. You can watch Batman with the kids.
Wait, Joker, the new one that's super violent one?
No, not that one. I'm talking about Batman. No, the Dark Knight with not Joaquin Phoenix, Heath Ledger.
It's coming. It's familiar, but no.
Real right now.
Movies are overrated. I tend
oh my god.
Watch it in your car.
You can't take advice from someone named Toy Insanity. Toys are overrated.
No, in my car. We don't have a DVD. We didn't get the TV screen in the car. We got. Maybe I can watch all my computer doesn't even have a CD. Dark Knight was great.
I gotta send you some stuff then. I gotta have a PO box. What is going on, my guy? Have you? Okay, that means you definitely haven't seen 300.
300, I actually have seen, and I believe I have the movie called Meet the Spartans, which I'm trying to determine whether or not it's
not kid friendly.
Not for the kid friendly.
Not at all.
D. Lou W says, do either of you play cards? Texas Hold'em. I have the perfect case for you. The guy cheating and filed a lawsuit. Mike Postle. Dude, I did videos on Mike Postle already.
What happened?
Oh, D. Lou, check it out. Lucas, we didn't do the stream. I did a stream on Mike Postle with the two other lawyers. I know I did it with Nate Brody, but no, I did videos on Mike Postle. That's crazy fun stuff. I went through the civil lawsuit of Mike Postle. Catastrophe says, who wore it better? Harry Belafonte, Deo, Aladdin, Lawrence of Olivier, Governor. Okay. See, I start reading the Super Show. It is a politically incorrect question as to people who Justin Trudeau and Ralph Northam all were caught dressing in as other races.
Okay.
So
I was like, wait, what? Aladdin.
Yeah, no, it was Prime Minister Trudeau had his blackface thing where I
saw that,
where they said he looked like Aladdin, and it's whatever. I'm my issues with Trudeau once upon a time were more serious than that in terms of whatever policy. Okay, so hold on with this, Lucas. First of all, thank you for coming in. I mean, it's phenomenal. We finally last minute notice is always the best way to go.
Always.
What do you want to talk about? Like your overall impressions of the way the president is handling things? Is that too sensitive, political for you?
I don't know what's really even going on. I don't know what is going on. I don't know, man. Things change from time to so quick. It's just like, when was the last? I saw the last conference. Nothing's happened, bro. Nothing's happened. 12. Did you get? Wait, you didn't get your. Did you get your 12 hundo?
Wait, did I get what?
12 hundo. Your Trump check?
Oh no. We in Canada we get $2,000. But that's if we meet certain criteria, and I'll see if I meet the criteria. I'm not sure. I'm not doing any more real legal work at this point because there's nothing to do. We had a trial scheduled for May. It's done. Like, we don't know when we're going to go do trial. So like nobody's doing any work now, but we'll see. We haven't gotten anything. 2,000 Canadian per month until this is over. If you're eligible.
Nice. Now they're talking about doing 2,000.
Yeah,
I think Democrats just did a bill for giving people $2,000 now. It's
great. I mean, first of all, it's good. How about just get people back to work? But where are they going to get that money from? Like, that money is coming from somewhere. It's
great question. No one's asking that.
Yeah, I'm sure some people are. We got T-Dub Plays says, ask my dog today, hey buddy, have we been in the house too long? Are we going crazy? He actually replied, shut up, you crazy weirdo. It is. It is. We are going to look back on this to the extent we ever get our civil liberties back, and we're going to laugh, and we're going to look back like with memories of fond memories. Told my kids, I was like, did you ever think you'd be playing 5 games of Scrabble with your dad, and the inability to see other friends? And like, we laughed, and then we cried, and then and then we got up and did it again.
This isn't happening. I need like a quarantine dog or something.
You have no, yeah. Well, I guess
I don't have anything, bro.
You wouldn't dare get a dog, eh?
For the quarantine season, yeah, and then return it back to the pound.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. That's all I needed him for.
Okay, so don't do it. Don't do it. We got let's see. Viva Frei, you're a Canadian national. Apply it in California. Dead people are getting checks in America.
Yeah, they were giving out. That's who probably got my check. A dead person. They gave it to the wrong. They gave it to the wrong Lucas. I'm so upset.
All right, Civil Law has a question for you, Lucas. Is a Lucas? Don't answer it if you're not comfortable answering.
It's not that I'm not comfortable. I can't say, but yes, I do shoot.
Okay.
We got to keep them surprised, man. We got to keep them surprised.
Okay. If you're uncivil law, if you don't know,
I don't know. Maybe I do. Maybe I don't.
This is one of the things I told.
That's one way to find out real quick.
Oh, there was a great, a video that went viral on Live Leak about a Florida homeowner shooting some people who were breaking in. But people ask this question. I say in Canada, to own a gun is more of a liability than not to own a gun because the government knows you have it, the store knows you have it, the employees of the store know you have it, anybody who hacked the store knows you have it. Like if you have a gun in Canada, setting aside if they decide to make it illegal and come and get it, like everybody knows you have it. It's a liability to have one and not an asset. What do we got here? Food in Canada.
We're heading there real fast.
Well, yeah, you're in California. California's not the California is California from what everyone says. Okay, now I think it's almost midnight in Montreal. So I'm going to Lucas, you'll stick around for 2 seconds after we end this and then we can talk for
Yeah.
Okay, people, let's go for another 4 minutes. If anyone's got any questions for Lucas, for me, let us know.
See, look, I'm learning already, man.
So
that Rosetta Stone is paying off, man.
No, well, my daughter's using Duolingo and she's learning Spanish now. But
wait, Duolingo? What's Duolingo?
Apparently, it's an app it's like a game app, and you can learn another language.
Shut up! Are you serious?
Yeah, it is good. Buy American, buy Canadian, buy local. We all agree with that. Tabarnak.
I just want to have something to show after this quarantine, right? I feel like everyone should have something to show after this quarantine. Well, after this quarantine, it's like, okay, well. I wasted all this time doing nothing. After
this quarantine, you're going to have a repertoire of videos that you're always going to be able to look back on and say, holy cow.
Quarantine videos. Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
This is what I produced when we were locked down, and this is all
I'll share it with my little Lucas when he comes.
So hold on one second. We got Brew. How did you not know about Duolingo? LMAOO. You got the double O. Do Duolingo. It's actually it actually.
So sorry, guys. I'm so sorry.
We got CCP as the communist.
We got app snobs in the chat.
I'm calling the CCP is the Communist California Communist Party.
That's interesting.
Duolingo is good.
Right now.
Okay, amazing.
Because some of us were on Rosetta Stone, that's why.
Well, Rosetta, yeah, but this Duolingo, I think it's a free app, and it's Duolingo is on PC. Yeah, it's a good one.
It's on PC too.
China lied people died. Oh, so there was do you follow Jack Posobiec on Twitter?
I do not.
Yeah, I don't even know how I ended up following him, but like I said, I get my left and my right people on Twitter, and this was one of the things like China lied and then fill in the blank, and people were going crazy with it. Viva, check out The Dark Knight. Okay, I'm gonna have. Is it too violent for a 10-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 3-year-old?
Too violent? I don't think so. No, it's PG-13.
Dude, we watched Role Models yesterday. That was PG-13.
You saw Role Models? You mean
I should have.
What's his name? With the black kid and
Rudd?
Brad, you watched Role Models? Dark Knight. Dark Knight.
Well, the thing is,
why are you acting like? Is it too violent?
My memory.
We watched Saw with the kids. I want to know if The Dark Knight is too violent.
No, but this guy. My memory of Role Model, it was funny. Like, I laughed. I sat there with the remote control, like I could not fast forward fast enough through certain scenes, like, and I'm trying to cough over the swear words. And so yeah, my memory of movies is
the mute button, just and then
mute.
unloose it. There
We
you
are
go.
we are on an old school DVD. I was lucky to be able to skip through some of that stuff.
Oh, my.
Okay, I'll check out Dark Knight. Step Brothers. Okay,
No, he won't.
I can tell you, we did Step Brothers also, but we did the Step Brothers.
You watched Step Brothers?
It was on TV, so I knew that the worst parts were going to be cut out. But even
all
still,
right, that's fair. That's
even
fair.
still, I mean, it's
pretty spicy.
Oh yeah, no, there's no question when they were trying to sell their house. Hilarious stuff. Does Canada use maple leaf per hour instead of miles per hour? No, but we do use maple syrup as currency. Let's do it. 30 seconds. Okay, I want to try to end this at 2 hours and 25 minutes on the nose. So while we do that, I'm going to get one more.
One of those. Okay.
Dodgeball. The kids have watched Dodgeball more often, more times than I can count.
You can dodge a wrench. You can dodge a ball.
There's some good ones. Okay. I'm going to do it now. I'm ending this stream. Everybody, thank you very much for tuning in. Lucas, stick around. We're going to talk afterwards. Lucas, thank you for tuning in. And everybody, stay safe. Be healthy. Peace out. Booyah.